idiots.
Oh, sure. Of course. Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master for this evening. With us tonight, we've got we're going to have a staggered roster of our usual panelists coming in. But starting with us tonight, we've got live in person, Steve-O.
Good evening.
And coming in from Vancouver, we've got Corey. Woo woo! So other players will be joining later, but we're going to get things rolling right now. Now, Cork, what I will need you to grab as well, as you got your online dice roller probably, can you please grab one D20 and one D6 as well?
1D6 and 1D20?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hi, sweetie. Hi.
All right.
So
I want to find my dice roller first for a second here.
Oh, sure, yeah. Let's get something ready.
Got it. So this is the same one for we're playing Star Wars?
We are playing Star Wars, yeah. It just this opening scene you will require excuse me, a D20 and a D6, please.
Okay.
So, hi, sweetie. Boy, you're worked up today. Yeah, excited to see Steve. I love Steve. Okay. Okay, so the our scene opens tonight on a rain-slicked city. This is an industrial district, a modern-day district. There are the falling rain and has diffused the streetlights that are still lit in this area. And what we see is a one-story modern day kind of, or rather, I'll say two-story, business park complex. There's a big, long, so sort of a big parking lot that surrounds this place, and there is a fence. But the falling rain, you can only really see it, I guess, in the puddles that have accumulated underneath the street lights, or the street lights that are lit in the parking lot, the very, very empty parking lot. What we see then, or hear, is a bit of a humming. And what we see is this small rotor operated drone kind of is coming, and it is has been slowly carrying past the outside of this complex. It briefly goes into is illuminated by the streetlights, and then kind of goes back. And as it goes, you can hear a bit of a whine of servos. As you can see, there is a small camera, like a GoPro type thing, that is attached to the bottom of it, that is kind of looking around. We track this thing as it follows out. We see it goes past the gate, which is a manned gate that opens up and lets people in and out. There is razor wire along the top, chain link fence. There is a sign on the fence that says "Electrified, take care." And maybe in the falling rain, we see a tiny bit of electricity arc across it. The what's called the drone carries over across the street into a parking lot on the far side, one that is not fenced in. And it kind of lands in the hand of a gentleman who looks like this.
Oh, is that Benedict Cumberbatch?
Nice. Yep.
Very nice.
And the rotor lands in his open hand, and this man is Vendry Durand.
Ah, yes. Because Vendry is actually played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Exactly.
Nice.
So the rotor, the drone hits his hand with the sort of practiced look. He sort of hits this thing, and it kind of folds up into a neat little stack. It's not like, it still is like, it's the kind of folding drone that you would picture today's technology could make.
Okay.
So he turns and says to a guy who's standing in the shadows of this white van, inside the van, well, looks like we've got cameras on the outside. We've got a guard at the gate, but a clear path up to the building. And then we see this gentleman step out into the rain.
Nice.
Tips his hat down. Do you want to provide the introduction?
Sure. This, of course, is none other than Declan Bray, the infamous pistol priest of the High Plains.
So this guy steps out, and he has a pistol in his duster and a big high-brimmed hat, and he has the collar of a priest on, unlike in the photo. So what you guys are here for? This is, of course, Declan Bray. What you guys are here for is to get into that building. There's something that you need to get into. As you can get in loud, you can get in quiet. If you get in loud, though, it will be difficult. So
I think I'm just gonna talk to Brother Declan.
Yep.
And just say, maybe we go in softly and then come out hard.
Yeah, it's your show, friend. Leon.
Okay, so here are things that you can do, Cork. Just so you, all task resolution in this is going to be with a 1d20.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'll give you target numbers for things. It'll be between 1 and 10. It's never going to be higher than 7, really, because 7 is like super, super hard. What you will do is, if you've got a skill that would apply, a T on your skills means trained, which means you reduce the difficulty by 1. An S means you're specialized. So, for instance, you're specialized in computers, you're specialized in stealth. That decreases by 2. When you want to figure out what your target number is, you multiply the difficulty by 3. So let's say I say that it's a difficulty 3 stealth check. Well, that means that you're going to be rolling. You first will reduce that by 2 because you're specialized in stealth, which would mean that your difficulty would be rolling against a 3 or higher on a d20.
Yeah.
What you can also do is you can spend what's called effort. You can spend up to 3 levels of effort. First one costs you 3. Second, 2 levels cost you 5. 3 levels cost you 7. And you subtract that from the pool, either your might pool, your speed, or your intellect, depending on what kind of check it is.
Okay.
That cost is reduced by your edge. So you can see, like, let's say you're going to spend 1 level of effort for intellect to reduce the intellect check by 1. That would cost you 3, but because your intellect edge is 2, it reduces that down to 1.
All right, I'm seeing that.
A bit of a wash sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna forget some of this, but that's cool.
You know what? Really, I mentioned that the other abilities you've got there. So things you can do: decipher. You spend a minute looking at a piece of writing or code or whatever else, and you'll be able to figure out what it means. Disguise. You can disguise yourself, just like Bendry. Distant interface. You've got basically a kind of like a skeleton key on your phone, or that you can use to hack computers remotely.
Yeah.
You got an eye for detail. If you spend 5 minutes or so thoroughly exploring a place, you can ask me one question about the area that I must answer you truthfully. You're a hacker, so you can do hacking stuff. Oh, Emmy, sweetie pie, jeez. Let's see here. What else can you do? Machine interface. Your ability to hack things and whatnot is 1 difficulty less.
Yeah.
And rest from chance. When you roll a natural 1, you can re-roll the dice.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can do it only once, but it gives you a chance to re-roll a natural 1. Okay.
Once per session.
Now, so those are the sort of your abilities. You know what Declan can do. What are you guys going to do? How are you going to get into it? You need to get in there. There's something in the basement that you need to get to.
Okay, I'm going to perception this building if I can. Basically, what I'm looking for is roof access.
There is roof access. When you sent your drone out, your drone went and sort of reviewed everything. Your thing says you've got a blaster carbine. What you have is a submachine gun.
Cool.
You do not have a submachine. You've got mage lock pistol, only it happens to look like a Colt 45.
Sure. Why don't I say to look around and to have a look and see if there's any good places to sneak in?
Sure.
My thoughts are that if what they're guarding is in the basement, then the most secure or the least secure part of the building, from what I'm understanding, would be the roof.
Okay. So yeah,
I'm thinking we get up there and then try and break in, and maybe we can elevator shaft it down, or you know what I mean?
I like roofs. Let's do it.
Okay. So you, when you sent the drone in, it was able to sort of capture everything. And I'll say that you were studying the video feed of that in the van.
Okay.
And you maybe using your TrueSight. You got that. So that's an active thing for you right now. And you were able to see, that there is roof access. There's a ladder at the back or the side of the building that leads right up to the roof. And then there is there's a what do you call it? There's like a air shaft that's up there. There's also a door that leads down inside. You suspect that some people in the upper floors, rather than going down to the main floor to smoke, come up to the roof to smoke.
Right, makes sense.
Yep. Okay, so what are you going to do? You still have the electrified fence, the razor wire, and the gate to are the.
Does the fence fully surround all of the building?
It does, yeah. Well, it surrounds the property because there's the building with a bit of a field out back, and then there's the parking lot, and then there's a fence that goes around that whole thing.
Is there like a transformer or something like that inside the fence that controls the electricity, possibly, that we can knock out with a
well-placed shot?
A well-timed shot?
Well, you could, or why don't you make Cork I'm going to say difficulty will be 4 to figure that out, but I think that actually is going to be a 1 because you're specialized in computers, which brings that down to 2, and you've got that machine interface thing, or sort of the hacker thing. So basically, without spending any effort, you can roll a 3 or higher on a d20 and figure that out.
Okay. Should I roll now?
Yep.
Can I just
11.
See if there's any magic on it. Do I roll for that?
Nope. Why don't you make a 11? Awesome. So you've identified a transformer on the property, and remember you've got that app that you can use to remotely access things. So rather than actually shooting the thing, you could just like overpower it, or you'd cause a stutter in the power, or whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
So you go ahead, Steve. Let's see here. It'll be from this distance. I think it's going to be a difficulty 5.
5, okay.
So it'll be a 15 or higher right now. Do you want to
on intellect? Is that an intellect check?
That's an intellect check, yeah.
And I get 1 edge for free with an intellect check.
If you spend what it is if you spend effort, you get that effectively is free because it's reduced by 3.
Right.
But if you did that plus say like if you did 3 levels of effort to reduce it by 3, that would cost you 4. Right. 7 minus your edge of 3 means 4.
So if I reduce it by 1, then it goes down to a 12 to get over the
12 or higher, yeah.
12 or higher, and that's with 1 edge, and then that neutralizes it. I don't lose anything from my pool as a result.
Doesn't cost you anything. That's right.
Let's do it. 12 or better.
Here we go. Okay, so you sense out.
Sensing, and I get a 7. I sense that.
Okay, so you sort of focus your efforts, and unfortunately, this. Your senses have been a little off ever since you got here, so it just you can't tell one way or the other.
Dimensional travel, man, it wreaks havoc.
It's so yeah.
Dimension lag, they call it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, fucking D-lag.
Yeah.
So Vendry, you've identified this spot, and now you look back and you see that Brother Declan is sort of has his hands closed, and one of his eyes closed, and one of his hands up, and then he sort of comes back and. What do you say anyway? Do you give me an indication of what you were doing?
I'm a little rusty. You're going to have to figure this one out yourself.
Okay. What I'm proposing, and I'm basically just sharing this with Brother Declan, is that how long do you think it would take us to get, if I shut down these fences and basically the perimeter, how long it would take for us to get over this fence and up to the roof? Like, I can take care of the fence. Do you have something like grappling hook or something that we'd be able to, because I'm going to shut down the fence for like 3 minutes.
Right. Well, that's good. Like the time.
And then I want the fence to come right back up again.
The difficulty with the fence is that it's got razor wire at the top.
Razor wire at the top. So getting over I might just have to blow the fence. Yeah.
You could do that. Your concussive shot, I'll say that you could blow a hole in the fence if you like.
Right. I could just blow a hole in the fence if you shut it down. And then, I'm pretty quick on my feet. I could get up to the top floor and down and in and out with a bit of noise pretty quickly.
Okay.
No noise would be a little harder.
You're probably going to want both of you to go in.
Okay.
Just judging from what you need to do.
Right.
Okay.
Well, what do you say?
I disabled the security fence. You blew a hole in it.
Mm.
And then I wonder, is there any way, like, would this be a difficulty hacking check to be able to, say, turn off the fence but leave it so that it looks like, as far as the security alarms and all that kind of stuff, that the fence is up and intact?
Yeah, I'll say the difficulty of that is 5.
Okay.
So 5. Let's see here. It's reduced by 2 because of your computer, and 1 more by your hacking. So right now it's a difficulty 2. So that means it's a 6 or higher. You could spend intellect effort to try and reduce that further if you like.
Yeah.
And you can just to clear that. You can auto success if you spend enough points to make it so you auto success. So Cork, your intellect edge is a 2, which means whatever the cost is reduced by 2. So it's either going to cost you 3 points for 1 to reduce it down to a 3 or higher, or it'll be 5 to reduce it to auto succeed on it.
5.
Okay, so that means your intellect, your pool of intellect is now a 17.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, sorry, I got to give this shitty pencil here. Here we go, 17. There we go. That one works.
I think I'm gonna, in this hour we're waiting for Brent, I'm gonna spend all of my intellect.
Yep, it's not a bad idea. Okay, so you what do you call it? So you hack this, and it does exactly as you wanted. There's you can see his hands are flickering across the screen on his phone. You're still mystified by this device, right? And he just and yeah, it does exactly like what you want. As primitive as these systems are, Cork, it does exactly what Ventry wants.
Cool.
So yeah, now it's just a matter of getting through the fence. Now, you guys would have known that this was your task too, and you guys would have had time to think about this. So if you don't want to have a massive, explosion, I can say that you guys would have brought, wire cutters with you.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We knew we were doing that then. Yeah.
So you guys sort of walk near. You look up, Corky. You see the camera. You could have, and then that goes down. The fence goes down, but it appears to still be on. And that camera, I'll say, is also on a loop.
Yeah, let's not.
So you guys go in, and then you cut the things, and you're able to peel it back. You get inside, put it back, and you start making your way towards the towards the side of the building. Now, I'm going to ask you to make a stealth check, but the difficulty here, because of the shadows, I'm going to say it's only a 2, which means that Cork automatically succeeds at this.
Okay.
So it's a speed check against 2.
Speed check against 4.
No, 2 times 6. 2 times 3 is 6.
Right?
Yeah.
Here you go. Just rolling straight out.
Do you want to spend any effort?
No, not at this
Okay.
point. Come on, 12.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so the two of you guys steal like shadows across the parking lot, quickly, making your way through. They can't. Your footfalls are sort of lost. The echo of them is lost in the falling rain, and you find yourself at the side of the building. There is a wrought iron, like black ladder that leads up the side, a kind of emergency exit one. You're able to pull that thing down and scamper up to the top. You get to the top, and then what's your plan from here?
Well, Vendry kind of like thinks on his feet. So, is the door to the roof access locked?
It is locked from the inside. Well, it's locked from the inside, but you have an ability called, where is it here? Hand to eye. It costs you 2 speed, which would any tasks involving manual dexterity, such as pickpocketing, lockpicking, games involving agility, so on. It gives what's called an asset to them. So it's basically like it's another way to reduce things. If there's a circumstantial thing or there's some like implement that you've got, it gives you it reduces it by 1.
Okay.
So what you can do?
Vendry is going to pick the lock nimbly while whistling.
I will be helpful.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I'll be rattling the door and sort of trying to shake it and figure out how to
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to say because it's your guys' sort of tech focus or Cork, what you're doing is basically using a kind of like a magnet type thing.
Okay.
So you pull it out and it's sort of like it's kludged together little device that you sort of hawk up there, and Declan is helping you sort of like tapping in whatever way he sort of how do you think he would be helping?
Well, I'm jimming the door using the old brute force, so they're trying to work to see if I can slide it open while he's fiddling with the lock.
Awesome. Okay, so Cork, why don't you make let's see here, it'll be a speed check, but through the combination of your let's see here, your repair and your his help, it's basically don't roll a 1.
Okay. But if I roll a 1, I get to re-roll it.
That's right. Yeah.
So how does the +2 work? It comes off of his difficulty?
Yeah, so his difficulty would have been a 3. You give him +2, which means if he rolls a 1.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to roll, okay?
Okay.
Don't roll a 1.
17.
17. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so you're easily able to position the magnet, and it unlocks the door. Thank God for smokers, because this thing was super loose. You click it and you pull the door open. You guys have access. No alarms triggered either.
All right, I'm just going to whistle to Brother Declan and open the door for him to get inside.
Okay,
right.
So you guys are inside. It is dry inside and quiet. It is also, there still is like emergency, like sort of that emergency lighting that's in the corners of the stairs, but that's it. So what are you guys doing? Where you need to get is in the basement, and it appears that there are cameras throughout this place. There are what do you call it? There is elevator access to where you want to go. I'm going to assume that you guys have you would have hacked and pulled some kind of like blueprint.
Mm-hmm. I've got true sight, so I'll use that to try to avoid the cameras.
Oh, so that's right. Of course, it's active. So so you can try and spot the cameras and then go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, okay, so I'm going to say that that's an easy enough thing because of your intellect bonus, you're sort of
I can even blow them away too if necessary with my gun. But I guess, yeah.
True. Okay, so what is the plan, guys? How are you going to get access to the basement and avoid? There is one patrol of security guards who sort of make their rounds.
How tall is this building?
2 stories.
2 stories? I'm wondering, should we start a fire?
I like fires.
You've been waiting to start a fire since the library on Femis, I think. So, that was Brent. So that was Brent.
Yeah, like what? It's just normal office building up on the 2nd floor there.
Yeah, it's actually, so you're sort of if you get out of the stairwell, you can see that it's basically a bunch of like cubicles filled with no, it isn't. No, it is. It would be office space on this level.
Okay. And no one's there. It's after hours.
It is after hours. That's right. Oh, okay. Hold on. No. There maybe is like 2 people who were here, but I'm assuming you guys are, between your stealthiness and your true sight, you guys spot this guy. He's working in a cubicle fairly far away from you guys and kind of, all
right. Well, let's hope this guy's smart enough to stop, drop, and roll.
So what's the sort of idea?
Well, if we start a fire, we can cause confusion, which will help us. Mm-hmm. We can possibly gain access to the basement if the guards leave that area because the building's on fire.
Sure, if that's what you want to do. What do we need to do here?
There's something you need to deliver.
Deliver. Okay. Yeah. So do we want to burn this place down?
Oh, we want to deliver it to them?
No. You're fine with if this place happens to burn down, but there's something you specifically need to deliver in addition to whatever other damage you do to this place or the people in it.
Okay. Well, they're not our friends. We're breaking in, so.
All right. Destroy the evidence. Yeah, sure.
All right. You got a lighter?
Sorry, what's that, Cork?
Do I have a lighter? Geez, I don't.
I can't remember. Does Declan smoke?
Declan is not. Did he have a pipe? Did he have a pipe?
I don't remember, honestly.
Maybe he'd have a pipe at one point.
Yeah, this could be a snag here, guys.
Not necessarily something I'd bring along. Well, my gun will light things on fire.
Yeah, but that's kind of like if we wanted to go that way, we wouldn't need to start a fire.
Right. Okay, I got you.
I can see you have a lighter on you. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of you guys can have a lighter on you.
Right.
And there's the.
I mean, I could be creative and take the gunpowder out of one of my bullets, type of thing, and and start to get a spark from something.
The spark from something is the key. Like, there's plenty of flammable stuff here in the cubicles, and posters on the wall and whatever.
Let's say one of us has a lighter then, and did you want to do the honors?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Most congenial of you. So I just for good measure, I empty out one of my bullets, gunpowder, just to get things started off properly and spark it.
Okay, so it flares up, and how are you hoping this thing is going to spread? Like, are you hoping it's going to be one thing, or are you trying to burn the whole?
I'm thinking like papers and stuff like that, like mostly smoke. Okay. And I'm not trying to create a structure fire. I just want to create a distraction.
I see. Okay, so
we'll make it look like somebody left the element on the stove or something. Go do it by the kitchen and start it off there.
Yeah, just probably stack it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Right.
So you guys, I won't make you roll for it. You guys are easily able to sort of stealth your way over to, because this dude is occupied in whatever he's working on, or not working on, I guess. You make your way into the kitchen. You get that thing started, and then what's the plan to sort of get from here down to the basement? You have seen on the what do you call it? The blueprints that it appears that there is some kind of like security, like computer security access, but you're fairly confident you can get through that.
Okay.
We started the fire, so I guess we better get moving. Yeah.
So how are you get down? There's stairwells to get down. There's the elevator to get down. What are you thinking?
Stairway?
Stairways. Yeah.
Are you just going to cross your fingers and hope you don't run into the security guards?
I'm hoping that it's a double stairwell, and so that we can like wait for them to come up one way, and we can jump over stealth. And they.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I love that. So that's what we will say. That's what sort of how things go. Is you make your way into the stairwell, and you hear the once the alarm sort of goes off, you can hear them. There's two guys dressed in the security uniforms you'd imagine that these office park security guards are dressed in. They're also carrying sidearms. And they have little logos that you can't quite make. You can make it out. And what it says on it is Blizzard.
Blizzard. Interesting. Okay.
So the game company?
What's that? The
game company?
I'm not sure that either of you guys would necessarily make that association. But yeah.
Okay.
So you both hop down. You do exactly as you said. Vendry's a little more stealthy than I am going to make you roll.
Okay.
It'll be a difficulty 2.
Okay.
And it's a speed check.
Okay. Here we go. So I got to beat 4. So 6.
Or you can spend
Bandit
effort.
That should be the test rolls we made before are not there. You have a full speed pool right now.
I'm going to go for beating 6 straight up.
Here we go.
Let's go. Beat a 6. Beat a 6. Beat a 6.
Ooh, 16.
13.
Is that 18?
13.
13. Okay, good enough. Anyway, so yeah, so both Vendry, you go over it like a cat, and you're down, and then you start sneaking down. Brother Declan impresses you with, as old as he may appear, he lands with the agility and the sort of nimbleness of a young kid.
It's not my first rodeo.
Nice. And you guys turn and start making your way down. Down the stairs.
Yeah.
So you're able to fall down to the basement. You go through a similar sort of unlocking thing because on the basement level, it's locked to get in.
Right.
You step out, and there is a hallway there that, in fact, only has one door. It's got it's fairly short. There is the 2 elevators that access this floor, and then there is the a security door with a heavy metal door, the kind of thing that you would expect to see from leading to a secure or hermetic facility. It's a really heavy steel door, and there's a little code key, keypad to access it. Other than that,
what character type are you, Steve?
I'm a gun priest, as I call it, but it's the actual Iron Kingdom's class is a gun mage and a priest.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so gun priest, I call it.
Okay.
So so it's basically like Gambit. He can charge his bullets, kind of thing, and then shoot them with magical powers.
I don't know stats for that. He's welcome to come,
And then he's a priest besides,
I got no
so he's
stats
got
for
those
that.
kind of powers.
But yes, he would be.
It's probably my territory getting into this room then.
Sorry.
Cool.
It's probably my job to get into this room then.
Sounds good. See you then.
Sorry, one sec.
Bye bye. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Brent and Dave are on the way back. James is joining us tonight.
Cool.
Okay, so let's see here. So I'm sorry, guys, I missed the discussion. What did you?
We were just talking.
We were just talking about our different skill sets and who's most capable of getting into this room.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think obviously unless you're going to blaze your way through, probably this is in your wheelhouse, Cork.
That's exactly.
Yeah. Do I have any way of hacking into this door terminal here? Okay.
And, what do you call it? Your distant interface allows you could do this from probably a level up.
Okay. Then I'm going to do it from standing right in front of the door.
Nice. So distant interface costs you 2. To hack this door is going to be a difficulty 4, but that's effectively down to a 1 because of your specialty in computers and your hacking ability.
All right. I'm going to hack the door.
Okay, so what you can do is it'll cost you 3 intellect if you want to do it automatically, or you can roll at a 3 or higher.
I got 17 intellect left. I'm going to spend it.
Okay, boom. So describe for us how does it go?
Basically, is it like a mobile terminal that I have that I can hack this shit with?
It's effectively your phone.
My phone. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a smartphone you can use to just.
So then, brother Declan is like worried, like, how are we going to get through this door? Blah 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 blah. And then Vendry just pulls out his phone, looks at it, and pushes one button, and it unlocks.
Green, and then it opens up. As it opens up, you can see that there is mist or some kind of condensation that falls out of the door.
Okay.
Like actually, like a fridge being opened in a really, really hot room.
Okay.
Like.
As you still stale.
Okay.
Yeah, stale and musty, or dusty, I should say. Dusty. Yeah.
Stale and dusty. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm holding the door open for brother Declan there.
Okay. All right, I'll lead the way.
So the it wasn't super warm. It's probably about maybe 14 degrees outside. You guys were wearing your jacket and your hoodie and your full cloak and whatever else. But as you step in here, it's probably about minus 5.
Okay.
So, for any listeners who are in the States. So as you step in, you can immediately see your breath, and there's a distinctive kind of, because of the rain from before, you sort of pull it in. It's dark in here, except for what you see on banks and banks and banks, like bookshelves, is the soft blue glow of server banks. Tons of banks of computers or computer servers set up. And there's a very, very it's almost inaudible hum in the room as you go in. And you can see at the very, very far end, there is, this place is remarkably clean as well, too. There's no like, what do you call it? There's no dust or like, cables lying out. It's really well put together.
It's like one of those like clean rooms that they put that they make like microprocessors in.
Something like that, yeah. Like these would be your expertise in computers would suggest that it's the kind of place where these servers are so hyper efficient that any amount of, like, for one thing, they need to keep it cold in order to allow them to work at the rates that they work at, and they try and keep it sterile as well so that it doesn't, because they're so hyper specialized that the smallest amount of detritus or whatever could probably affect them.
Cool.
You see, there's also like kind of like flat surfaces on the top of each of them to sort of catch any falling debris or whatever, or you would imagine that's what it would be for.
Okay.
Your goal is at the far end of this room. The very far end, this room, it's for giving the size of the building on top. This seems like remember the place where the Ark is being studied by top men.
Yeah.
This is what it's like. It's sprawling out. But the only lights you really see, apart from that soft blue glow, and really they don't illuminate the area. It's just you see sort of like dots of blue or rows of blue dots along in each of the server banks, and then there's sort of soft floor lighting that leads along to the far end. And at the far end, you see your destination. At the far end, there is effectively a server station, or a sort of a main hub for controlling the rest of the servers. And this thing is illuminated, and you can see it's got the same soft blue glow to it, and there's a little terminal on it as well. That is your destination.
All right. Can I perception this room to look for potential traps?
Sure. So you are trained in perception. So why don't you just make a roll? I'm not going to tell you what the difficulty is for this.
All right.
Go ahead and make a roll. You're free to spend. Oh, okay.
I'm free to spend what?
I say you're free to spend effort as well. But
I've already rolled, and it was a 9.
9. Okay. Yeah. So you sort of look around, and as you guys step in, there's an echo that carries with each footfall. It's perfectly smooth concrete, and each step seems to sort of echo out into this. So it suggests that this is a much bigger room than you expect. Can both of you make intellect checks for me, please?
My protective ward's always going, is it?
Your true sight is still going. Yeah, you're able to see.
The protective ward, is that always going?
Yes. Yeah, I'm assuming that's up. You like it's effective.
Oh. I rolled a 3.
Check it.
My intellect is 20.
Okay.
I'll take a 1 bonus edge.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, difficulty be
14.
Okay. So both you guys are you're looking around and you can't see anything. Oddly enough, so you look up and you can't see quite where the top is here.
Even with my true sight.
Even with your true sight. If you decide to sense out, there is definitely a supernatural presence here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is unusual for this world.
I mentioned that. Heads up. It seems like we got company. Yeah.
So there is, in the same way that you've learned that, in the same way that Dash can detect things that are beyond the scope of the normal through the Force, Declan has a similar ability, and you've come to trust that. So that's what he's detected. Both of you expected that, though.
Okay.
Sorry, what is it that you sensed?
A supernatural presence in the room.
All right, that's your bag, dude.
My department. That's right.
Okay. That's to be expected.
That's to be expected. Okay.
Okay, and as you reach into your coat, you pull out what you needed to deliver, and what it is effectively a what do you call it? Like a water bottle,
okay,
full of holy water.
Oh, interesting.
Because what better way to fuck up a demonic server than by spilling water on it?
That's perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Damn demon servers.
Damn demon servers. So what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna find me that server, and it's right in front of me.
Yep.
Okay. I sort of I nonchalantly sort of shuffle over to it, trying not to alert the supernatural entity to my intentions.
Okay. So you start striding over as bravely as you can. Are you walking with him, Cork, or are you hanging by the door?
No, I'm holding back, and if something does come and jump out at Brother Declan, I'm ready to start running full speed past them towards the server.
Okay. So as he's walking along, you realize just the distance between you two. This is probably about 200 feet long. Like it's a huge room. And as you're going along, it seems like that hum that you heard before was just seems to be even more omnipresent. And it seems it's really starting to grate on your nerves as you're going along too, and you feel very alone as each footstep echoes along. There's nothing else apart from the humming and the sound of your boots stepping on this spotless concrete.
Right.
For a split second, you hear what sounds like in your childhood in Lael, you recall the sound of shucking corn. And you hear what sounds like that.
Okay.
Shucks.
So you pause for a moment, listen. Cork, you see this, Vendry, and then you sort of wait, and then you see Declan starts walking in, tick, tick, tick. And he sort of, as he passes each of these lights, it's almost as if he almost disappears into the shadow between the floor lighting, and then suddenly appears again. And then appears, and then suddenly appears again. And this carries on the whole distance down to the far end. Now, as you walk up to the server, it looks very much like a computer, like a laptop or something like that, that's set into sort of a wall. There's all these cables and cords and shit like that run into this thing, and the hum is even louder here. There seems to be sort of like a DOS interface display that's on the screen on the computer, and there's this keyboard there, and then the keyboard leads down into the actual bowels of it. And you know that this is, as you get closer, there's a bit of a clenching in your stomach. There's something definitely supernatural about this. And as you go up too, you can see that mounted on the front of this thing is that same Blizzard logo.
Okay. Should I try detecting magic to see if there's a ward on it, to see if I need to do a dispel ward?
Well, what you've got is you've got a jug full of holy water.
Which is, okay, I guess,
it's so
anti-demonic medicine.
Anti-demonic demon server stuff. This is the way.
The files are in the computer.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I better start a couple of test drops on it and start looking for places to dump it all over the thing.
So you sort of like, it's effectively like a Gatorade type container. So you kind of like squirt a couple things. There's like water falling on dry ice. There's a, and you could swear for a split second. When you listen, you can't hear it, but for a split second, you think you hear a screech.
Okay.
What do you do?
I guess I better get to work pretty quickly here and hit the servers, the main box as well as the computer on top.
All you got to do is just pour it into this thing.
Well, we're doing it.
And that's it. This is the master thing. From what you understand, this is what you need to do.
We have to. All right, let's do it.
So you unscrew this thing. You spare a last look back at Vendry, and then pour it in. There's sparks and smoke and shit that fly out of it. Everything you expect to see from like in any movie where there's water spilled on a computer. Sparks are flying out, and there's kind of like popping and stuff like that. And you guys see all the lights on all the servers go out, so that all that's left is just the little floor lighting of it.
All right.
And there's a sickening stench that's coming out from it. Like if you were to pour like offal on a fire, on a campfire, that's the stink that's coming out from this thing.
Nice.
And then there's a merciful silence and a reprieve from that hum.
Demon guts. Nice. All right.
So what do you got? What do you do?
I think the job is done, my friend.
That echoes down. As soon as you say that, at a bank that is basically right between where the two of you guys are, there's a baleful green glow that goes along, individual lights going on in a line.
Oh.
What do you do? Now there's one closer towards each of you. Two closer to each of you.
Let's get out of here.
So I'm going to start running down the hallway towards Brother Declan.
Okay. As you're doing that, you can hear this horrible kind of that same corn hucking sound. But now it sounds like there's a bit of a rattling that's mixed with it too, and a hissing is coming from above you.
All right.
So you spare a look up, and as if passing through a veil, something suddenly reveals itself to your true sight, as if it has been hidden by some kind of mystic veil. And what it is,
oh my goodness,
is this.
Oh dear.
What the fuck?
Vendry, you spare a look up as well too, and this thing kind of is looking down at you guys. Now, would you please roll initiative? To roll initiative in this, difficulty is going to be a 3. It's a speed against 3. If you succeed, you get to act before them. If you fail, they act before you.
All right.
I'm gonna just roll
straight up.
Okay.
Here we go.
15.
Boom. 14.
14. Nice. Okay, so you beat it. Cork, how'd you do?
15.
15, sweet. So which of you two guys wants to go first? You can act and move just like in D&D and like every other game, really.
What's your class, Vendry?
I am a stealthy explorer.
Stealthy explorer. Okay, well, I'm gonna sort of, I'm just gonna whip out my gun and start hauling off at it because.
Yeah, you've never seen this thing before, but you know this is not fucking good.
Yeah.
Incidentally, there's that server behind you is like, you know, light streaming out of it. That same baleful green glow.
All right. Well,
And this ceiling, incidentally, is full of cobwebs, massive webs that these things are skittering across.
Oh, there's a number of these stupid.
There's a couple, and this goes way up. So they're like, you know, kind of coming out of these web-shaped cocoons and kind of coming down towards you.
Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, can we run for it?
You can, run. So you could spend your whole time running, which would get you about halfway across the space. Or you could run and then make an action, like shooting or whatever.
Yeah, let's run for the. I say, wrong way, Vendry. Let's get out of here. And I run, and then I turn around and blow off a shot at the nearest one.
Okay. Yeah. So one of them kind of drops down in this feral pose, and you spin around. Go ahead and make an attack. Difficulty will be it's 3, so it'll be a 9. You can let's see here. 9. But you aren't you trained with? You're not trained with pistols, so.
I'm trained with guns.
Oh, you train with guns? Yeah, you are. Okay, so that means actually it's a difficulty 2.
Okay.
But you could spend speed to try and reduce that by more.
I think difficulty 2 is pretty solid.
Okay, so 6 or higher.
And maybe I will also do a brutal shot. 1 speed. What does that do? So
okay, so it costs you 1 speed. So you mark off 1 speed.
Can you split up your move and your action? Like, I'm wondering if Vendry, after you make your attack, if Vendry could make his attack and clear a path for Declan.
Totally.
Okay.
Yep. So,
and what about? Can I also stack on a concussive shot too?
Yep.
Is it like the old days?
Yeah.
And that's 2 intellect, but then I don't pay for anything because I have edge 3. Is that right?
Bingo.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Right. Concussive brutal shot.
So, what do you call it? Describe for us what happens to your pistol as you're bringing this thing up and as you're casting the spell.
All right. So as I whip it around, I start conjuring up the old energies. I've been on hiatus for a little while. A big blue ring starts to circle and then starts slowly fast around my gun as I pump it full of my energy and then blow it at this thing.
Nice. All right. So this thing unleashes like a cannon.
All right.
Let's see if you hit.
All right. So my difficulty then is still 6. Still 6. Yep. Okay. Come on, baby. Come on.
Whoa.
Boom,
Nice.
13. Nice.
Boom. So damage is 13. Okay. So
what is damage? Where's my damage?
Oh, here's the other thing you can do too. You can spend speed to boost that. You can use effort to boost damage as well. Right. On a 3, instead of 1 for 1, it's 3 for every level of effort.
Okay.
So that does 8. Does 5 points of damage.
It does, damage 5. Okay,
Damage 5.
Plus
6.
5 plus 6. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, right, because it knocks back. No, concussive doesn't stack. That does 5 points, and then it knocks it back.
Oh, I got it. Okay. So 6, and then I knock it back.
Yep. And then what you could do as well is you could spend speed to boost that. Well, you spend intellect to boost that further. But right now you spent 3 effort this round.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Okay, so you spin around, you blast this thing. It's hit with this concussive force. There's an explosion of bluish holy energy that sends this thing flying back. Bits of chitin and web kind of fly out, and dust as well. This thing does not appear to be living. So flies back away from you. Then Cork's going to take an action and then you can run a little more. What do you want to do, Cork?
I want to clear a path for Brother Declan by mowing down legs or.
Okay, awesome. So one of them drops sort of between you two. So the difficulty, Cork, if you're going to fire a burst, it reduces your difficulty by 1, but reduces damage by 1.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack roll. Difficulty will be 3, and it's a speed check. So you can spend. So right now it's a 9 or higher is what you need.
Okay.
Oh, 19.
19.
19. Oh, okay. Yeah. Here's another
criticals in this.
There are actually, and there are staggered criticals. With a 19, you can either do +3 damage, or you can do a minor effect. And a minor effect would be things like you knock it down, you strike a specific body part.
Yeah, I think the effect, the extra effect I want is I want this thing to fall to the side, giving Declan a path past it.
Awesome. Okay, so you fire with this submachine gun. It blows out one side of his leg. So while it tries to sort of lumber towards Declan, it suddenly loses its weight, falls to the side, and smashes up against one of the green glowing servers, allowing Declan to run right past it safely.
Cool.
Okay, so what do you call it? So what are you guys going to do? You guys.
I'm thinking running retreat.
Oh, hold on. No, sorry, guys. There are two. You sort of see now what is. What do you call it? What was behind the Declan? This is you, I guess. Mm-hmm. There is one of these things. So there's two of them have dropped down, and there's more that are stirring up there. But two of them have dropped down that are appear to be sort of feral things. There's another one that has some kind of headdress on it, and it is speaking in some kind of language. And there are arcane, foul energies that are raising between its hands.
Oh, shitty. Question. Have we done everything we wanted to do in this room?
As far as I can tell, we have. Yeah, I delivered the package. Yeah.
So what I need, actually, this thing is going to unleash a spell. I need both of you guys to make a speed defense for me, please. So
okay.
Difficulty will be 3 as well. So you can spend effort to try and reduce that. Damage in this cork is damage done to your might. Once your might is exhausted, it goes to speed. Once your speed is exhausted, it goes to intellect.
Cool.
So it's got to beat a 9. Is that it?
Yep.
And sorry, which one is it under?
This is a speed thing.
Okay.
So you could spend effort if you like to try and reduce that. Difficulty is 3 right now, which means 9 or higher.
If I spend effort on speed, does that mean that my pool goes down?
It means your pool goes down. Yeah, like for you to spend 1 level of effort would cost you 3 points, but that's reduced by 1 by your edge, so it only costs you 2 points. What that would be doing is reducing it from a 3 to a 2, which means a 6 or higher you need to roll.
All right, I'm going to do that.
I'm going to spend 3 to bring it down 1 to 6.
Okay.
All right.
So that cost me how many of my pool for speed?
Costs 2 points of your speed.
Okay, so now my speed is 12.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do it. I'm rolling.
Go ahead, guys.
Rolling. Boom. 17.
Nice.
12.
12. Okay, so both of you succeeded. And 17 is actually slightly, there's a slight advantage you get. What do you think that would be?
Slight advantage I get. I can figure out what the guy's doing now.
How about this? Is he okay? Okay, sure. Then, yeah, you know that this is the same demonic energy, the same foul presence that was behind the server is fueling this thing's spells. It's like extending its tendrils of power out into this thing, and seems to be fueling the other things as well.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. So now top of the round, they've gone. One of the things is staggering to its feet, where the one that you blasted and the one that Corey shot is sort of trying to get itself up and turn around. You also can hear there's this sort of the sound of like a bunch of leaves falling, and you're not quite sure what it is, and then you see that there is a wave, like a carpet, of crawling, tiny, about this size, scarab beetles. They're all kind of carving and running towards you guys. So what are you guys going to do?
I say to him, looks like this hive has a mother. Aim for the queen bee.
All right. Can we see the?
You can't. There's that. You can see that one thing that is. Well, actually, Cork, I need you to make a perception check against a difficulty 3, please.
Okay, I have T in perception. What does that mean again?
Oh, trained. So you reduce it by 1, so it's a 2. Okay. And that's an intellect check. So
it doesn't matter because I rolled a 20.
Yeah. Okay, so what you can see is maybe what happens then is Declan says that rolling a 20 in this, incidentally, is like rolling a triumph. Something really awesome happens. So Declan describes what, it's sort of in passing because you can't help but narrate what's going on. This is exactly like, it's all coming from the server. And you think for a second that if it's all, the server is you thought that pouring this holy water on this thing would disrupt it. Would disrupt the connection from this thing and whatever else. It didn't do that. That tells you that there's more behind this than what you thought. There isn't a queen bee you can shoot. There isn't a plug you can pull. The intelligence you had going into this was faulty. So what are you going to do? Sorry, Kurt, so you're going to act. You're sort of looking for the queen bee, and you realize that this is not the way this thing. Fuck, we got to get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just like popping off a couple shots at these scarab beetles as I walk backwards. And is Brother Declan tied to me now?
Basically, yeah, because you would have run out. You guys are effectively kind of halfway through and making your way back. There's one of these big spider things that's crawling to its feet. There's one way back where the server is, and there's the one that's sort of like almost right above you guys in the webs that's casting these arcane energy bolts down at you.
Goodness. All right.
So what are you guys going to do? Cool. Corey's backing up and kind of firing.
I can use my concussive shot to blow back waves of beetles.
Cool. I won't make you pay for that. You just, you know, it gives you enough cover to get back to the what do you call it? The door, which is thankfully not locked. As soon as you guys open the door, though, maybe this has been going on and you were focused on other things. But as soon as you step outside in the hallway, you hear a very different siren than what was going on before.
Right.
What are you guys doing?
Shit. I guess we'll close the door maybe to the server room for one thing. And you can try to lock it maybe to keep those things in there. But let's get the hell out of here.
The door begins to tremble, like as if an earthquake is striking.
Is it bigger in the basement than it is on the outside of the building?
You think so, yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's any other alternate exits.
Then the main exit entrance?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This place would have what you would expect would be fire exits. Like apart from the basement full of demonic servers, this place is totally up to code.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're saying there's another exit to this room?
Not to this room. No. This
that's what I was wondering.
There's 2 elevators. There's the stairwell.
Okay. I say we make our way out of the room, lock the door like Steve says, and then try the elevators.
Okay. So you guys get out, you slam the door. Are you going to lock it or are you just going to blast the lock?
Jam a chair into the door handle.
There's no chairs here, unfortunately.
I guess I could blast it to lock it. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Another shot from this blue energy shoots out from the end of this thing and disintegrates the lock. As you guys are, you hit that too. That rumbling continues, and that perfect concrete floor begins to kind of crack, and you see cracks are even starting to go up the wall.
Oh my goodness, that's bad news.
What are you guys doing?
We are leaving.
2 elevator banks, or 2 elevators, and the stairwell. What are you taking?
I say we go into the elevator, push the button for the main floor, and then get out of the elevator. Let the doors close, it goes up, and then we go up the stairs.
I like it.
Okay, so you do exactly that. Doot, 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 and you can see only one of them is down here right now. The other one you can see is like, level 2, level 1, kind of coming down. You're like, shit, hit the thing, right into the stairwell. As you guys are going up, get into the stairwell too, those tremors continue and the cracks begin to continue in the walls. What I need you guys to do is make speed checks for me against a difficulty of 4.
16.
No, 4 times 3, 12.
12, sorry. I will use, I need to use 3, don't I, to bring that down to a 9.
To a 1.
To a 1.
Remember, the difficulty is multiplied by 3.
Okay,
to
right.
get your target number.
So I use up how many speed points?
So if you use 4, like if you want to spend 3 levels of effort to bring it down to a 1, which is a 3 or less,
right,
or 3 or higher.
No, just to bring it down to a 3, so just 1. Yeah.
Difficulty 3 is only 1, so it costs you 3 points.
Costs 3 points. Okay, so 7 points of use. All right, down to a 9. Here we go.
So this is a 9 or less. Yep.
Come on, motherfucker. 12.
Yeah. Cork, you want to spend any
speed? Go
speed?
to the bathroom and I'll make coffee.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 speed.
All right, speed. Okay. So you roll 9 or higher is what you need.
All right. Oh, I rolled an 8.
Oh no. Okay, so what happens?
Can I be helpful? Is it too late?
Your helpful is cost you what? Nothing. Okay, so awesome. What happens is you stumble and you think that the stairwell actually begins trembling, and some of these wall, the big cinder blocks that make up the wall begin to kind of like pulse in at you, and you're like, you stumble, but thankfully, so Declan has a keen eye on you. He grabs you and pulls you back up, so you're able to continue scampering up the stairs.
I just imagine he looks like Dirk the Daring in Dragon's Lair whenever you're about to die.
Yeah. So you get pulled up and you guys go racing up. And this trembling continues. You get onto the main floor, and there's like dust settling from the ceilings as you're as you're racing through this building. And you start running towards the. You said you were going to go through the back exit, right?
Yeah.
As you get to the main floor or the first floor, and you hammer the door open, you can hear that screech of those spider things as they burst into the stairwell, and they're kind of like scampering up skipping whole flights of stairs. You get up onto the main floor and you go racing over towards the door. Would you make one more agility check for me, or a speed check for me, please?
All right. Can I spend another 2 points?
You can, absolutely.
Against 4 again?
Against a 4.
It's a 4. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to use up 3 more points to bring it down to 3.
Oh my God! What's happening? I rolled a 4.
Oh no!
Nice. Boom, 12, and I can help him.
Okay,
Nice.
that doesn't unfortunately get him to that. So
Too late.
Cork, what happens is you suffer 4 points of damage as the floor begins buckling up and down. So what that means,
where's my damage on here?
the damage is taken out of your might pool.
Right. Okay.
Your might pool is down to a 6. What happens is when you exhaust your might pool, when you exhaust one of your pools, you become impaired, which makes all your difficulties 1 higher.
Okay.
Okay, and then when you lose 2, you become debilitated, which makes everything 2 higher. And when you lose all your pools, you're unconscious.
Okay. I see why you like the system.
Yeah. Okay, so you unfortunately stumble and kind of sprawl to the ground. Declan turns and spins around and sees you sprawled out on the ground. He's unfortunately in the washroom right now, so he can't tell us what he's doing. But what are you going to do?
I'm going to. So, my situation. Am I trapped?
What? And you're not trapped. You're knocked to the ground as one of the sort of like supporting struts or something like that kind of falls down and hits you on the back, and you're not really badly hurt.
Right.
But it knocked you.
I'm going to. Can I stand up and make a move action?
Absolutely.
I'm going to do that and then race up the stairs.
Okay. Well, you're actually on the main floor right now. You're going.
All right.
Yeah, towards the exit. So, Declan, you saw him fall behind you. What are you doing? He's sort of scrambling to his feet. He's going to start running towards you.
Oh shit!
You see at this point, one of these big things comes bursting through around the corner, kind of skittering on the tile floor.
I guess I better do a quick draw and blow it away.
Okay. Well, you got your. I'm assuming your maze lock pistol's out. So go ahead, make an attack roll.
All right. So what is
difficulty is 3.
3, and it's an intellect, so it's versus a 9.
No, it's not intellect. It's a speed.
Oh, it's a speed. Okay.
Right. Unless you can do a concussive shot.
I see that changes. Yeah, I will do a concussive shot and knock it back and give him some room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, which means it's a 3 reduced to 2 because of your guns.
That's right.
Are you specialized? No, training guns. Okay,
Well, practiced with light and medium weapons or whatever.
That just means you're capable.
Okay.
If you're not practiced with them, then you would suffer. It would be a 1 higher difficulty.
Okay. Also, I can use up to 3 edge, so I'll use my 3 edge to knock it down 1. Yeah.
Right, but remember, you're spending also 2 points of intellect, so if you're spending 5 in total, which means you got tons of intellect, though.
That's true. I guess I could do that, can't I? So,
yeah,
so I'm using a total of
5.
5 then.
So it's 3 points for the effort.
Right.
Plus 2 points for your concussive shot.
Minus 3 for the edge.
Bingo.
So 2 altogether.
That's right.
Okay. 18 is how it's going.
Okay.
All right.
So you, once again, Cork, it almost seems as if as you're struggling to your feet, Declan is lowering it's the classic Clint Eastwood down the barrel of a gun looking into the camera shot. And you're like, whoa. And he fires. Go ahead.
So got to be the 6, I think.
6 or higher, yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Blam! It's blast past your head. Now, you could have spent more effort. You can only spend 3 effort per round. You could have spent more effort to pump the damage in this thing.
Oh, okay.
To give you a sense of what's happened, it's the same one you shot before.
Right.
It's lost about a third of its health from that first shot. Okay. So you hit this thing. It's blown back, like its momentum is arrested completely, and it's thrown back by this concussive force. And it's almost like there's in amongst the explosion, there's a little hint of like choral music.
Interesting.
Kind of as it hits, and it knocks this thing back. It skitters along. And you sort of spare a look back, Cork, and you realize that one of these things was almost about to come upon you. So you guys manage to, Vendry gets up and he's right next to you. So you guys turn and race towards the door.
Right.
So you burst out the door. There's the alarms are actually extending outside as well too. And there's floodlights all around the sides of the building. So you guys are completely visible, unfortunately, but you can make a sprint for that, what do you call it? For the hole that you made in the chain, if you'd like.
Sure. Is there a power box or a transformer anywhere I can see? Looks like it might take out the power.
Why don't you roll? You know what? If you roll a 11 or higher, there is.
If I roll an 11 or higher, there is. Fire dice.
Yes, there is.
Boom.
Yeah,
All right.
you planned this exit so you would be right near the transformer.
Let's blow that transformer away.
Okay, it'll be a difficulty 2. 2. Which you reduce by 1, so effectively 3 or higher, or you can spend 3 points of speed to make it nil. Or you can do concussive shot, I guess, but you're still rolling against a 3 then.
Let's do concussive shot to blow it away, and so it's still against, and then I'll use 1 effort.
Okay.
So that makes it 5, so 2 again. So 4 altogether.
So it's automatic hit.
Automatic hit. All right.
So as you guys run out in a, what do you call it, trailing blue energy, he spins the Peacemaker towards the where the transformer is, and again this thunderous sound that sounds like this time trumpets blaring, and this transformer explodes, and then suddenly the room, what do you call it, the apart from the falling rain, the parking lot is cast into darkness. As you guys are running along, you still have your true sight active. You guys are running along towards the hole in the, what do you call it? In the fence. Thank you. You're racing along, and both of you can hear kind of there's some sound coming from behind you that sounds like a rumbling.
Let's hail a taxi and get out of here really fast.
You have that white van that's near you.
Oh, good.
Right, you came in. Okay. So, and there's actually someone who's sitting behind the wheel waiting for you.
Oh, good. That's
your
good
getaway guy.
All right.
Actually, if you guys want, is there a more dramatic exit? Because you would have had time to plan this shit out.
A more dramatic exit?
Yeah.
Well, we're still inside the courtyard, right?
You're inside the part. You were sort of coming out the back, so there's a little bit of a walkway that you'd have to get around this to the parking lot, and then make your way towards where the hole in the fence is, and then on the other side of the street is where your van was parked. But there's actually a possibly the best driver / pilot you've ever met in your life who's behind the wheel of that, waiting for you.
Well, then that guy's pretty proactive, and he'd be crashing through the fence, seeing as how everything's been blowing in.
That's what happens then. Awesome.
Okay.
So you speak into your, what do you call it, into your headset. So it's been blown. We need you. And then
we're not really doing stealth anymore. So
okay, you hear this kind of like the mute is this thing kind of like. This white cube van pulls off maneuvers that you would not think possible. It's effectively like every trick video you've ever seen. This thing crashes. We sort of cut to the guard who's working at the gate of that, and he's listening to like Sweet Caroline. And he jumps out of the way, and then this van goes smashing through the gate, and it kind of boom. As you guys are making your way towards it. Making your way towards the gate, you can see the van, and this van effortlessly kind of over the sort of the rolling parts between the different segments of the parking lot, the different lots of the parking lot. Boom, boom, down, and comes right roaring towards you. You guys have a chance to spare a look behind you because it's being illuminated by the high beams that this guy is insisting on having on. You look behind you, and you see like what looks like. When you see something moving underneath the surface of the water, and there's the sort of disturbance crest that's going, but in a parking lot,
right,
coming towards you guys. You sort of like go, and as you sort of race up, this guy, the driver, flawlessly times this to hammer this thing into kind of a side like a fishtail, and it kind of screeches along as it gets closer to the door. Opens up and. Leads it pretty much stops dead right like within 2 or 3 feet of you guys, so you're able to run and jump inside. You look up, and Pash is behind the wheel, and he says, "Time to go."
Yeah. Very timely.
And
I'm just imagining, like, Vendry getting in and saying, "We could be on the cover of People magazine."
As you, what do you call it? Before you have an opportunity.
Is that thing a sandworm in there, or what's underneath the pavement?
Well, you actually are able to find out, because before you have a chance really to answer, something bursts up from beneath. Something larger than 2 of these cube vans explodes out from the surface, and this is, whoopsies, where is he?
That's just one claw, only one claw fits on the screen. Nice. Okay, bad news. All right.
This is what bursts up from the surface, Cork.
Oh my god, okay. So it's like the alien queen with armor.
Sort of, yeah. There's a little like horn that this thing slams down. What do you guys do?
After soiling myself, is it possible that we're like have the back doors of the van open so we can kind of like sit and fire as the van is driving away?
You could slam the one door shut, and I imagine Pash has got some kind of like, and it starts closing the door as soon as you guys get in. And you could run, both of you sort of like spare, look at each other, and then run to the back door and throw it open. And this thing is, the van is peeling away and starting to go across the parking lot. You're sort of like being, each of you grab some kind of like holy shit handle on the top of the van, and this thing is moving, like keeping pace with the van. What are you guys gonna do?
Oh man, start hauling off at it. Yeah. I'll use every trick I got here.
Do you know what this thing is? Like, does Brother Declan know what this is?
Neither of you have any idea what this thing is. You've never seen anything like this before.
Does it seem to have any protective wards on it? Do I see any?
This thing, it reeks of foul energy.
All right.
Would you kindly both make initiative checks, please? The initiative checks will be against a difficulty of 4. Dave, you're just in time.
Excellent.
So, guys, so just to keep you up to speed, right now, Pash is driving a cube van in which Vendry and Brother Declan are currently firing out the back of it, trying to escape this server farm being pursued by this thing.
Demon server. Speak there.
Dave, what kind of music would Pash have playing in the cube van?
Sweet. Yeah, same radio station.
Oh, Dave, can you hear us?
I think those guys are frozen.
Yeah, those guys are frozen. They were so shocked. Yeah, I don't even see the picture anymore. Anyway, okay, so initiative, please, against, so it's a speed check against a difficulty of, I'm going to say 4 again.
If my speed goes down, does that affect my rolling ability?
Nope, you can keep spending speed, and also, Cork, I'll mention, you can spend, you see how you've got recovery roll listed there?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, so recovery roll, what it is the first time you do that, you can take an action to roll 1d6 plus 3, and that's how much of any of your pools you get to refresh.
Right.
So
I still got 8 in speed, so I'll hold that off for next turn.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend 2 speed.
Okay. To reduce that to a 3.
Okay. And I rolled a 9 for initiative.
3. Yo, awesome. Perfect. Steve, you owe me an initiative roll. I'm going to go to the washroom quickly, guys.
All right.
And then you owe me an initiative roll.
And your coffee's ready to go if you have anything.
Oh, sweet. Great. Peace. What's great. So great. Steve, it's a 4, and you can feel free to spend speed if you like.
All right. So 16? Sorry, 12?
12.
Yeah. Shit, I'm already up to, well, I guess I better. Screw it. All right. 3 more speed. Let's beat 9. Come on. 13. Thank you. My grandpa's number keeps coming up. All right, so I got my initiative. Boy, what to do against this thing? Hey, maybe I should try shooting it with a dispelling ward.
I would say if you can cast spells on bullets, I think now is the time.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe I'll shoot it first with a dispelling ward to see if it's got any protective hexes on it. We can just try to wipe those out.
Sure.
There's no protective hexes in Star Wars.
This is not Star Wars.
This isn't just Star Wars. This is bigger than Star Wars, Dave.
Nothing's bigger than Star Wars, Steve.
Dave?
Hi, sorry about that.
That's okay. Did you hear what I said before?
Not even a little bit.
Okay, so Dave, where we're opening, so where you guys have just walked in is Pash is driving a cube van in which you have just broke into a like an office park to recover Brother Declan and Vendry, who broke in there to pour holy water on a demonic server. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So you have just kind of squealed through this. You just missed the scene where a security guard was reading some newspaper and listening to Sweet Caroline. He looked up to see the headlights of your van running towards him. He ran out. You smashed through, effected a perfect fishtail spin, opened the van. The guys hopped in just in time for this to break through the surface of the parking lot.
Oh.
And it is the size of, it's twice the size of your cube van. You sort of hit a button to close the side door. The two guys looked at each other and then threw the back door open as you're squealing away, and this thing is keeping pace with you guys. You're trying to get away, and my important question for you, Dave, is what does Pash have playing on the stereo?
Very important.
And what was playing just prior?
No. The security guard was listening to Sweet Caroline.
Oh,
You've got a trucker hat on. You've got like a puffy vest on.
Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash.
Nice! Oh, that's awesome.
No, John Denver? All right.
Yeah. Here's the train a coming. Okay.
I have this feeling that like Pash is behind the wheel and like not really reacting to this monster chasing us or anything that's happening. He's just listening to the music.
He calmly looks in the rearview mirror, the side mirror, and there's this thing, and he's just like speeding up a little bit. So, Dave, do you have a D20 handy?
Say again, Kev?
Do you have a D20 handy?
A D20? I do not, but Brent does.
Oh, great. Brent, can you grab a D20 and roll that for me right now? How did you do in your initiative?
Pass. Yeah.
Sweet. So you two guys act before this thing. What do you want to do?
I want to hit the dispelling ward to see if if it's got any protective hexes to get rid of them.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Okay. So that would be an intellect check. It'll be against a difficulty 4, but let's see here. Dispelling ward.
So it's 4 intellect, so I've got 3, so I'm already at 1 that I've got to use.
Does dispelling ward cost 4? Oh, it does. Yeah. Okay, so what I will... You know what? I'm going to give you the bonus for your religion, so I'll take it down to a 3.
Nice.
So right now it's a difficulty 3 you're going against.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Let's just rip it up.
Give it a shit.
Now, mind you, I've got some intellect to use.
You got tons to use, yeah. You got a 16
what can I
right
do for
now.
extra damage?
So you can use a maximum of 3 points of effort.
Yeah.
Effort can be every level of effort adds 3 damage.
So if I use 3 points,
yeah,
that would do what?
Well, nothing, because dispelling ward is not a damaging thing. But if you shot, 3 points would add 9 to the damage.
Okay. As opposed to this, so we'll start with the dispelling ward then.
Okay, just try and get rid of,
All right, so just straight up 9. Here we go. Beat the 9. 14.
Yeah, nice.
Boom.
So you sort of, what does it look like? Describe for us.
Well, it's sort of like there's a big cloud, but it's how there's usually a cloud when you're shooting a bullet.
Yeah.
The cloud sort of travels with the bullet and poof and sort of surrounds the object in a blue light.
Awesome. Okay. For Dave and Brent and James, if he's there too, this is what Vendry looks like.
Nice.
And
is that Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yep. Yeah. And this is what Brother Declan looks like.
Damn straight.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Okay, so you what do you call it? Brother Declan, yeah, he makes that shot as described by Steve, and it is. There's something on there that kind of it's like you see like tearing of webs almost on this thing. There was a protective thing that was helping to reinforce this thing. It seems weakened now. Whatever foul magic was holding this thing together, because it is not alive. It seems diminished. So this thing is rattling a little looser now, and it seems to pause a bit. So there's a little bit of a distance. There's now about maybe a car length distance between Pash's vehicle and you guy and the creature. Dave, do you have a D20 now?
Yeah, I rolled a 17.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're able to act before this. So either Vendry or Pash can act next. What would you like to do? Vendry, remember you got all your different hacking abilities and shit like that. Feel free to like go to your the limits of your imagination with that.
Okay. Basically, we're still inside the courtyard and we're speeding out, right?
You are. So what I'll say is that no, you're back. You're onto the wet city streets, and beginning to scream through. It's basically like the kind of feeder streets that are between different office parks. So there's
Okay.
right now there's no one there, and it's sort of squealing and fishtailing to the side on the rain slick streets. The street lights are kind of zipping above you, and this thing's still chittering after you.
I wonder what could I hack that would be useful. Like, what were you thinking?
Well, I mean, a suggestion or something I think of is if traffic lights. It wouldn't necessarily do that, but like if you rolled really well on hacking the traffic lights, you could say like turn turn a red light green and start things going as you go through to have this thing hit by traffic.
All right. How about if I turn all directions green in like a 10-block radius?
Awesome. Okay, so you pull out your phone. I'm going to say that's it would be another it'll be a 4, which is down to a 1 because of your specialty with computers and your what do you call it, and your hacking. So it's a 3 or higher right now. You could spend 3. You could spend effort, 1 level of effort in intellect. To
Okay.
Okay, so your intellect's down by 1, so it's a 13 now. Go ahead.
I thought my intellect was 17.
It was. Didn't you use effort again?
I might have. I don't recall. Okay, I'm at 13 now.
You're at 13 right now, and yeah, it's automatic success. So
cool.
What do you call it? Describe for us what happens.
Vendry says, I hope you're not texting because you're going to need to pay attention right away.
Okay, and then so as you're sort of Dave, what are you doing this round? What is Pash doing? You got a giant undead beetle that is skittering along the street behind you, and you're racing through this office park.
As soon as Vendry says that, Pash will sheepishly put his cell phone away.
Okay, so you thanks, Steve. Good job. So you what do you call it? You put your cell phone away, and then what do you do for your action? That's free. So,
what is so it's a white cube van?
It is a white cube van, and actually, if you yeah, it's a white cube van that probably you have had an opportunity to do modifications for. So, whatever kind of neat trick shit you want to have on this, you've got it.
Pash is gonna get Vendry to find him the nearest like GMC cube van dealership.
Okay, I can do that.
And good taco restaurants in the neighborhood too.
The In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, but drive-through only, Steve. I mean, come on. Little sense of urgency here, please.
I remember the dimension, man. You expect me to just sort of, ignore this?
So, another important question for you, Dave.
Yeah.
What is on the dash of the cube van?
One of those little Hawaiian baubles. The hula dancer. That's the one.
Okay, so this thing goes to the side as you. I heard something about KFC.
We're hitting drive-through on the way.
The dimension, yeah.
Okay, so Dave, here's an ability you've got. It's called Get Away. On your turn, you can make a driving check to try and get behind cover, and I'll allow you to do it with a vehicle as well.
Well, so basically what I was thinking is if Vendry can actually find me a dealership, Pash was actually going to pull up into it and try to disguise the cube van in and amongst all of the other cube vans.
Okay, this thing is only about a car's length behind you right now, though, and it's moving at the same rate you are.
Boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. You look in the mirror and you're like, okay, that's not going to work.
You know what? Pash is going to hit the brakes hard.
Okay. Yeah. What are you hoping this thing's going to plow into you, or because again, it's twice the size of you?
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah, it's twice the size, and it's got this thing came up from underneath it was able to punch through pavement in order to get up.
Yeah, but we have airbags.
So I guess the van's not as fortified as I had hoped. Okay. And Vendry's just turned all the lights green?
Yeah. Guy, is James there?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Pash is actually going to find the nearest parkade with the narrowest entrance that will accommodate the van.
Like,
Okay.
is there any underpasses or anything like that?
I think he has to. It's a giant undead beetle. There's going to have to be a scene where it smashes underneath the underpass.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave, what I'm going to ask you to do is this will be a to get to effectively like keep a distance between this thing. It's going to be what's called a speed check. Now, when I say there's a difficulty, that difficulty is multiplied by 3 to give you the number you need to roll on a d20 or higher. What you have right now, this thing would be a DC 4. So its difficulty is a 4, but you are specialized in driving, which means it's reduced by 2. So it's a 6 or higher. You can also use what's called effort. You can try and push yourself to reduce that a little further. You have 16 in your speed right now, and if you get 0, then you're impaired. But for 3 points of that, you can reduce it by 1. For 5, by 2. By 7, by 3.
You know what? All I really have to do is roll a 6 on a d20, so I'm going to reduce it by 1.
By 1, okay. So your speed is now, you have also what's called an edge, which is kind of like armor against effort. So it reduces the 3 down to a 2. So you're now at a 12 or a 14.
Okay.
Speed. Okay, so you go ahead and make your roll, and then let's describe it.
That's an 8. 8?
8?
Yeah.
It's good enough. So describe what happens.
All right, so Pash sees one of these concentric circular parkades that, and the opening is just narrow enough for the cube van. And so as he plows up, and he just pins it, so this thing is firing on all, well, probably 4 cylinders, let's be honest, it's a cube van. But as he does that, whatever is behind him just is tearing up both sides because they can't make it through. And whatever, all that debris is just falling in and hampering this thing from getting. So it's falling farther and farther behind as Pash is just kicking the shit out of the poor motor of this cube van.
I'm just imagining as you're plowing through, there's a little yellow sign there that says clearance, like 8'4" or something like that, and you like fucking knock it right off the.
100%.
That's awesome. Okay, so that smashes, and then it hangs back, and then this massive, undead beetle thing comes by and like ruins the top, and it's passing. It's been shredded in two, so it's just hanging loose on chains. Okay, so that is at the end of your round. This thing is going to, as it's charging after you too, you can see it kind of sucks in, and then kind of, like me, spits out this gob at you. You see this in your rearview mirror through the what's cube van, so it's probably only side mirrors. You guys see this as well too, because you're sort of looking out the back. Vendry, you had to hack turn all the lights on. So you're racing up this thing, and this thing hurls at you. Dave, I need you to make a speed check again. This time against a difficulty of 3. So right now it's a 9. I'll also let you reduce it by 1 because of your driving. Actually, I'll let you reduce it by 2 because you're specialized in it. So you see this thing and you're like, wow, shit! What are you going to do to get out of the way?
Oh, is it? It's caught up already?
It's actually still forcing itself through. Like it's able to sort of wedge down. This thing is, it looks massive when it's moving, but it is able to sort of like, crunch itself down into a more of a compact form and skitter along after you. It's destroying the sort of the parkade behind you, but it is still managing to you're getting some distance away from it, but it's getting up and as a last effort to spit at you before you sort of outdistance it. Right now, it's a difficulty 1 to try and avoid this thing.
Oh, okay, so it's not the spit per se. It's just actually still the thing that I'm trying to avoid.
Well, it's horrible. Like basically, you can kind of like you're sort of going around the corner, and this thing's trundling along or like just smashing along behind you as you're making your way up, and then just before you're able to sort of pull around the corner and out of distance of it, so you've outpaced it, it fires this viscous gob of something that seems to be sizzling. So how do you think you're going to avoid that?
You know what? As Pash sees it leave this thing's jaws in the rear view mirror, he's going to hammer the brakes and hit the basically crank the wheel so that the back end of the van knocks the side out of the barrier. So it's now it's only on 2 wheels on this on the ramp, but it's now almost perpendicular or parallel to the basic. So he's actually watching the spit fly by the van as it goes by, with half of his van hanging off of the ramp.
Okay, so right now it's a difficulty 3. I'm actually going to ratchet the difficulty up 1. That's awesome, but I'm going to ratchet it up by 1. So right now it's a 6 or less. Do you want to spend any effort to reduce that? You could spend 3 points to reduce that to a 3 or less, or you could spend 2 and just do it automatically. Or sorry, spend 5 and do it automatically.
And I'm down to 14?
You're down to 14. I remember that 5 would be reduced to 4 because of your edge.
Yeah, sure. What the hell? You know what? Let's go for the automatic.
Before you roll that, Dave, I need you to do one more thing for me.
Sure.
Can you pick 2 different numbers between 2 and 16? Go ahead. Or you either let me know, or you can write them down yourself and let us know when they come up.
22.
Oh, am I rolling this, or am I just thinking?
Picking 2 numbers, one between 2 and 16. 1 is your lucky number. The other one's your unlucky number.
Oh.
When you roll, when you make a roll that day and you get a number matching your lucky one, the difficulty of your next task is reduced by 1, and the converse with the unlucky number.
We'll go with 8 and 11.
Okay. Which one's the unlucky one?
11.
11. Okay.
Nice.
Go ahead.
14.
Nice. Okay. So you do exactly as you described. I need both of you guys, Vendry and Declan. Can you please make speed checks for me too? Any kind of like athletics or whatever else you can do. The difficulty will be 3, and it's 3. It would have been 4, but because Pash said, "Hold on," you're like, "Wait, what?" And then he suddenly does this crazy maneuver, and you guys are, "Oh!"
All right.
So it's a.
Does this count as survival?
I don't think survival. No.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll then.
Okay.
Speed check. So you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so 9. Eat a motherfucking 9, yo. 14.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
When can I use a recovery roll?
Spend an action.
As an action?
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you do, Cork?
Should I be honest?
Please.
Well, 3.
Henry falls out of the back of the van.
Remember that Declan could help as well too.
I could be very helpful.
Can you help a 3?
That's pretty hard to help. I'll do my best.
Okay, so you hammer on the side, and Cork, what happens?
I just imagine that Vendry slams up against the side of the van upside down and almost falls out the back of it.
Okay, so I'll say you take 4 points of damage again.
Okay.
So you're down to
Ouch.
2 might right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, so top of the round, any 3 of you guys can act now before this thing again. The van slams back down. So
What kind of healing can I do?
you can spend an action to roll 1d6, add 3, and then you can recover any of your pools. You can spread that recovery amongst any of your pools.
All right. Well, my might is the lowest, so let's recover from that.
Okay, so you're sort of catching your breath. I'll also give you the free action to give Pash a withering look.
Yeah, exactly right.
Reaction, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I will spin a recovery around myself.
Okay.
So
Go
1d6
ahead.
plus 3.
And Pash, what are you
6
doing?
points.
You're behind the wheel of the cube van right now.
So if I rolled a 2, does that mean I get 2 points back?
No, if you rolled a 2, it means you got 5. You have 5 points to spread around.
Oh, okay. 5 points to spread around.
Yeah, 1d6 plus 3.
Okay.
Pash, what are you doing?
So Pash is still trying to evade, right?
You have because of your sort of strategy right now. You're heading up now. The thing is, you have outdistanced this thing. It can't see you any longer. You can still hear it over Vendry's cursing. You can hear it thundering up the steps, and you realize that there's going to be a point where you're going to hit the top of this thing.
Yep.
So what are you planning on doing?
Well, and then this was actually all part of Pash's plan.
Yeah, of course.
He's starting to scope out the nearest buildings, either at equal height or lower.
Okay, this we have described this as an office park, so I don't know if there's other things that are equal height to it around here.
Okay.
There are lower for sure.
How much lower?
Why don't you roll 1d6 for me? And divide it by 2, rounding up.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. This will tell us how many levels you've gone up.
1d6 divided by 2?
Rounding up.
3.
So you're 3 levels up right now.
Nice.
And how many levels to the top?
We'll say there's 6 here.
Okay, and so as Pash is going up, because it's kind of an open parkade, he's taking stock of the top of every building that he passes.
Okay, you've passed all of them at this point.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
You know what? No, I'll say there's one that's a 2-story building that's near you.
Okay, so
Are you planning on driving off the edge onto the top of a building?
Corey, get out of my head. So, having calculated that he probably doesn't want to go any farther up, Pash realizes that this is the getaway time, and so he's gonna pin that thing on the floor that he's on, to make it across the parkade, barrel through
Brett,
the.
are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so there is a guy sitting in the passenger seat who is dressed in a white and black suit. He has like a black tie as well too. Honestly, he screams FBI. As soon as you sort of like get that look in your eye and you begin turning towards it, the guy in the other seat looks at you and says, "No." Pash, what do you say?
I've done this 1,000 times.
No.
No, it's okay. You know what? Just close your eyes if you have
No.
to.
Did you
We're
get
going.
insurance?
And the next time that he says no, the van has already broken the barrier.
Nice.
No. Would you have paid for the insurance on the van?
At this moment, the two of you guys have sort of like, you struggle to your feet and you look over and you see it going right towards this concrete barrier. So, Pash, I would like you to make a driving check against a difficulty. It'll be difficulty 5, but it's reduced to 3 because of your driving, and I'm going to reduce it by 1 more just because that's fucking crazy fun. So your difficulty is at 2 right now. You could spend 3 points to do 1 level of effort to reduce that to 1, and you could spend 2 points of effort to reduce that to 0. That would cost you 5 speed, which would be reduced by 1 because of your edge.
And I'm already at 9, right?
You're already at. I've got you at 14. Did I miss one?
Okay.
Oh no, because you're right. Because you spent. Yeah, actually you're at 10 because your speed edge is 1, which means it reduces any kind of cost of speed powers by 1.
Okay.
Hey, Kev, I'll be right back. I believe I have a printout of a certain suited FBI character.
Hey, fuck yeah!
I'll reduce it by 1 then.
You reduce. Okay, sweet. So you're. That means plus you
3
points. You're at 8. Okay. So it is currently a 1. You need 3 or higher.
Okay.
Everyone in the van is screaming out, "No, no, 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 no!"
Well, Patch didn't roll great, but it's still a 7.
Yeah, that's good enough. So describe for us what happens.
So, basically, Pash will just turn and look everyone square in the eye, and they know as all their hands basically starfish out to brace themselves.
Ah!
Yeah, the front of the van connects with the basically the edge of the parkade concrete. It shatters out into like a thousand tiny pieces, but it also ends up pancaking the front of the van. But it allows the van to sail cleanly right on top, right through the side of the parkade, and directly square into the middle of the next building, which is Kev. Why don't you tell me what the next building is?
The next building is actually very almost identical to the building that you guys broke into. It's one of these like two-story office parks that has a bunch of things. So what we see
Can it have a big sign on top that says Pillow Factory?
Well, no, there's what do you call it? It really doesn't matter what's on it, and there probably isn't. Maybe there is a sign in the corner that's like pillow check or whatever. And what we do is the camera cuts inside, and it's that like guy in a row of cubicles who's kind of vacuuming the floor with his headset on, and you hear wham! The van comes crashing through the ceiling onto the one floor. And kind of roars along towards the it's now at full speed, running right towards the other windows. Paz, are you going to power through and try and get through these windows as well, or stop?
How functional is the car?
Still functional. You're an awesome driver.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So you spare a half second to just straighten your dancing girl again. Everyone else is screaming. You straighten it up, and then go ahead and make another check. This one will only be against a 4 difficulty. So it's reduced to 2 because of your driving, and 1 because of awesome. So right now it's a 3 you're going against, or you're rolling for.
Okay. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, that didn't work out the way I'd planned.
What'd you roll?
2.
Ah! So close. Okay, so you're running towards this, and the guy who's got the headphones on does not hear any of this, incidentally.
Doubling down.
You sort of like, all you guys scream, and then you out the window, and it goes back to perfect silence, and you still see the guy. So you come down, and it hits the van. Can I get both you guys to make a speed 3 check for me, please?
Speed 3.
Yeah.
14.
10. Nice.
10, nice. Okay, so both of you guys succeed. You're able to, hold on. You don't take any injuries in this ridiculous fall, but as you hit the ground, you don't. Oh, Dave, can you make a speed 3 check for me as well, please? Do you have any? You want to do, Dave? I'll reduce that by 1 because this is not the first crash you've been in.
Okay.
So it'll be 6 or higher, and you can spend speed if you like.
Well, I rolled a 6, so
nice. Okay.
it doesn't work.
So you kind of, you guys hit the ground, and the van kind of miraculously is not like, it hits the ground and sort of falls on its side and kind of screeches along, but not a huge, not a huge amount of damage, or at least not as much as you would expect to be from here. What do you guys do? Brent, are you back?
Yeah, I got him.
Brent, would you please roll a D? It's a difficulty will be a 3, so it's 9 or higher. But let me see here. You know what, Brent? You've got a sensing danger, so I think you saw this coming. So you'll reduce that down to a 2, which means a 6 or higher, and you have a speed of 12. So you could spend 1 point of effort to reduce that. So spending 1 level of effort costs you 3. Spending 2 costs you 5. Spending 3 costs 7. That's reduced by your edge, and each of those levels reduces it by 1.
Okay.
Right now, you're rolling against a 6 or higher. Do you want to just gamble on that, or do you want to spend effort?
Okay, and effort comes off my stat?
It comes directly off that pool. Yes.
Oh, okay. How long does it recover?
Every time, what it does, Brent, is you'll see under your recovery roll there, It for one act. The first time you use recovery in a day, it costs you 1 action. You roll 1d6 plus 3, and you add that back to any of your pools.
Oh, okay, I getcha.
10 minutes.
Okay, so if so right now I get to roll a 6 or better.
Brent, sorry, one thing I'll point out, you've got Think Your Way Out. What that allows you to do is you can spend points from your intellect pool rather than your might or speed pool on any non-combat action. Now, because 1 level of effort costs 3, your intellect edge of 3 reduces that to a 0. So effectively, you could reduce that by 1 for free using your intellect.
Okay.
Or you could auto-succeed for 2 points, basically by reducing your pool by 2. You would be spending 2 levels of effort, which costs you 5, reduced by your intellect edge down to a 2.
Do it.
Okay, so that reduces my pool from 20 to 18, yeah?
That's right, and you auto-succeed then.
Okay.
Okay, so to try, how do you, how about this, Brett? This is not the first time you've been in a crash with Pash.
Yeah.
The old past crash.
There's a reason they rhyme.
And I sensed it coming.
Okay, yeah, oh yeah, totally. So you're like, you just sort of sigh and you assume the position, and then it smash, the thing hits the ground, and you're able to finally extricate yourself from the vehicle. James isn't there yet, is he?
No, I'm not quite sure where he is. Let me send him a text.
Coming for sure?
He said he was.
You know, I'm wondering if he got caught up with putting the kids to bed and all of that.
He does have a newborn, so...
Yeah, I was somewhat surprised that he said he would be able to, he was free for the evening. Paulette might be rebelling against being left with 3 children.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is because if so, there may be someone making an appearance here.
Nice.
It was very much a spur-of-the-moment invitation on his part.
And did he ask, or did you ask him?
He kind of volunteered, actually. He seemed very interested in coming over, but...
That's what we were doing.
This was only 30 minutes ago, and he hadn't really discussed it with Colette. So
apparently he had Colette's blessing, but...
Okay. Well, let's just we'll let him reply too, because that might affect how that'll affect how things go tonight. So, okay. So this van has now come to a rest on its side. No one seems to be hurt. You guys all have a moment to sort of catch your breath. What are you doing?
Vendry has completely forgotten about the monster that's chasing us.
Agreed. What are you guys doing?
I'm picking myself up and dusting myself, reloading.
So for Pash and for incidentally, guys, for those listening, this is what the FBI guy looks like.
Okay.
His name is Matt O'Connor. That's what he looks like. Matt is a psychic FBI agent. Brent, would it be fair to say that this guy's kind of a... Oh, actually, why don't you describe him for us, Brent? Why the hell would I be doing that?
It's a while since I played him, but I think he's a Mulder-esque style FBI agent who has some gifted abilities that he generally keeps under wraps unless he's working with a familiar group of people.
Okay.
Pash, are you still in the vehicle?
No. Pash has basically hopped out immediately.
Okay.
And is now looking to hotwire the next cube van.
Okay, so
the next vehicle he looks at gives him the finger.
Oh shit! You know what, Dave? You've got an ability called Salvage and Comfort. You can make a difficulty 3 intellect check, and if you're successful, you find it.
Oh.
Yeah. So your intellect, Dave, is an 18, and you have an edge in that of 2. So right now you're rolling its difficulty 3 times 3 is a 9. You could spend a point, or as much up to 3 points or 3 levels of effort to reduce that.
So that'd be 9 points?
Well, no. Level 1 costs you 3. 2 levels cost you 5. 3 levels cost you 7. First one's 3. Next, any additional one is 2.
Oh, it's not multiples. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not multiples. You also have an intellect edge of 2, which means however much it would cost, it's reduced by 2.
Gotcha.
So one level, effectively, one level of effort costs you 1, 2 costs you 3, 3 costs you 5.
Okay. You know what? Pash will actually put the number of required points into it to make that automatic.
Okay, so it costs you 5 points. So your intellect's down to a 13. Okay, so you sort of get out, and you look over, and you're like, ha! Do you actually say, just as I planned?
Sure.
Okay, you adjust your trucker hat and start making your way over towards the other one. You don't even have to roll. You'll be able to hotwire that stuff. So you guys sort of all spill out of this thing, and then you what do you call it? You guys hear a familiar rumbling. You and Vendry, you know it now. Vendry, you've forgotten about the monster for a moment, but the sort of like soft tremors under your feet and the sort of skittering of stones across the parking lot.
Time to go, time to go.
Okay. So, Brent, you've seen exactly what everyone else has seen too, or Matt has seen everything that everyone else has seen. So, what are you guys doing? Matt has a little pistol with him as well too. Glock 22, which is a standard issue for FBI.
Okay.
Does this thing move as fast above ground as underground?
Tough to say. Probably not.
Okay. Well, I'm just wondering if it had like 2 speeds or what.
Yeah, it's probably slower underground. What are you guys doing then? So Pash finds an almost identical van and gets in and then puts the little dancing girl on the dashboard.
Okay.
Pash will lean out the window and yell to the other guys, "Hey guys, the ride's not over."
So we can only hear this. We can't see it yet. Sorry.
You can't quite see it. Where you are sort of like you're about maybe 50 feet away from the where the this other office building was that you smashed through and out of.
Okay.
On your and then just over a little further behind it is where the parkade was. Looking back at it, you're like, how the hell did he make that jump? So you and I'm going to say he didn't go out directly. You sort of angled so that you put as much distance between yourself and the parkade as you could. But it's coming from the distance of the parkade. The rumbling is coming.
Okay. We better get moving. Let's hustle. Yeah.
Okay. Your true sight is still active as well too. So maybe you're seeing that same where that crest comes around the building and begins to come towards you guys.
Oh, okay. Would it help much if I was to like use my concussive blast to put a car in the way, kind of thing, slow it down? Not so much.
Talk more about that. Well, guys, what do you think here?
Maybe when it's above ground.
So what?
Better.
Maybe, yeah. So what Declan is saying, he's going to use his concussive shot to try and knock this thing in the direction of something. Can you guys think of something you could do to try and take this, fucking semi-sized beetle down?
Well, we could collapse something on it.
How far up are we?
You're on like in the outside or exterior parking lot right now. Remember, your van went through the side of that parkade, down into that building, onto the first floor up on that building, out that window, and then bam, down on the ground and on its side.
Okay.
You guys have piled out of the van. The van is sort of like sparking, and maybe there's some leaking fluids and stuff like that. And Pash is sort of like got out.
Why don't we cause the van to explode?
Sure.
I'll make an illusion of something over top of it, like an elephant or a dinosaur, and then as it comes to that, we can use our gun mage to cause it to explode. James is here.
Okay, hold on. Then we got you got one other thing to add to your arsenal here. Hold on.
Yeah. We can go across a bridge and try to explode the bridge behind us.
Yeah, I mean, that would work. We either have to drop it somewhere where it can't get out of,
Right.
or
Drop
we
it
just
behind.
have to start fighting back, really.
Yeah.
Or make it think that we died.
Or lose it if possible.
Brent, is James there now?
Yeah. He's just coming in.
James, how's it going?
Oh, not so bad.
Listen, so James, I got a fairly important question for you.
Yeah.
If Kahita was in our world, what kind of motorcycle would he drive?
Ducati.
Okay, so as you guys are sort of deciding, like talking about what to do, you hear a as this single headlight goes racing, around the building and sort of up this little crest and down, and then spins to the side and stops. And what you see seated on there, would Kahita wear a helmet or not?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, wearing a helmet and sort of like, would he be wearing motorcycle leathers, or would he be wearing a Shinto priest's robes?
Leathers, probably.
Okay, so wearing vibrant red leathers with a stylized symbol of a flaming bird on it. This guy pulls his helmet off, and he looks very much like this. His hair flowing out behind him.
I thought that was Sigourney Weaver.
And he asks, what in the fortunes is going on? Now, okay, so you don't really need to know why Kahita is here right now. Have him acclimatize. What you know is that Kahita, with a bunch of other guys, were tasked. You had to break into effectively a server bank that was operated by the company, the computer game company Blizzard, and deliver something into the server. That did not work out the way that you had all planned. So currently, Pash, who is Dave's character, and Matt, who is Brent's character, and Brother Declan, who is Steve's character, who looks like Clint Eastwood from Pale Rider, and Vendry, who is Corey's character, who looks like Benedict Cumberbatch in a hoodie, have been fleeing from this thing, which is about the size of a semi-truck, twice the size of the cube van that they have been driving. Now, Kahita effectively has the same type of powers that you recall him having in that. He can envelop himself in a sheath of flame. He can shoot out flame at things. He can create a katana of fire. So that is what you now have added. Kahita was always kept in reserve here because sneaking around is really not his forte. What I can tell you is, James, is this is Kahita as you played him. You're not going to know why he's here right now, but this is him. So feel free to play him exactly as you would expect him to do. Kahita rides up. You've now got a fire-wielding magic user who is with your group. What are you guys doing?
Goodness.
So right now, the first van we're driving is on its side after having been driven out of a parkade, through an office building, and crashing. We've got a second one started, and you guys were trying to figure out what to do about this giant undead beetle that is pursuing you.
Ooh, man, we got to stop this thing with some weight. Maybe we can combine our powers to either bring down a building or a bridge.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. My vote's for the
I
bridge.
like the idea of blowing up the other van while the thing is like on top of it.
Sure.
I'm still confused as to why I'm wearing leathers and riding a motorbike. I don't even know what this thing is.
You know exactly. I can tell you that you're not confused. This is the choices that you made for what to wear, and you are in full support of this mission. I'm not telling you, James, why you're on this mission or why Kahita's on this mission, but he fully understands what's going on. He knows who his compatriots are, and he was in full support of this.
Okay.
So what do you guys think? Brent, do you want to maybe mention, I'm not sure if you had a chance to look here, what you're able to do?
Yeah, I remember, and I remember the character bit too. So I was going to suggest that to grab this thing's attention, I put a badass illusion over top of the down van and then someone could use an incendiary round, or a flame wizard could use something to cause the van to explode when the creature gets close.
Hey Kev, do any of us have the power of like illusion?
Illusion?
Yeah.
Matt?
Like that?
Yeah.
I'm a superpowered. Yeah, that's my superpower.
Kev?
You can create basically 100-foot cube full of complex illusions.
Yeah.
Kev, does this thing have any natural enemies?
This thing? I'm not sure that any of you guys know what this thing is. Let me think here. Okay, so the difficulty, guys, is going to be... I'm trying to think if would any of your characters, you guys all know your characters well, would any of your characters have played video games in the limited time that you were in this world?
No.
Oh my god, that's probably the only thing that Pash does outside of like driving shit.
Okay.
Matt Connor, this is Matt. Matt's a 20th, 21st century guy. He's been familiar with video games.
Okay.
Is it known that Pash plays a lot of video games?
Well, I guess it is now. I mean, that's
Have
the
you
thing.
ever seen anything like this in Pokemon Go?
Was Pokemon ever on an actual arcade? Because that's really that's Pash's forum for video games.
Well, you know, and totally, honestly, Pash strikes me more as a pinball guy than a video game guy.
Yeah, and when I say video games, I mean like walk-in arcade type of video game.
He's good at that.
Yeah.
And Kaita, I'm guessing, does not find the fortune's favor in video games.
No.
Okay, what about Vendry?
Vendry probably would not be interested in video games.
Okay, so then it will be only Matt. The difficulty, Brent, is going to be actually 7. So
Okay.
You can spend intellect. It's an intellect check. You could spend up to 3 levels of effort on that because your effort is a 3. And 3 levels of effort would cost you effectively 4 points from your intellect. And then you'd be rolling against a 12 or higher.
What do you do?
Sure. This is to figure out what it hates.
This is to figure out what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I will do that.
Okay. So your intellect is down to a 14. Go ahead and make a roll, Brent.
And I need a 12 or better?
You get 12 or better.
Oh, son of a bitch. I rolled myself an 11.
Ah! It's on the tip of your brain. You know you've seen this stuff before. You've never played it, but you're like, God. When you knew what was going on and where you were going, you sort of did a cursory look, but you can't place what the hell this thing is. So none of you guys know what's going on. You can still hear the rumbling underneath the surface. What are you guys doing?
Hey Kev, what is this thing's intelligence level?
You don't know. What you know is that it's intelligent enough to pursue you and evade your or like not be fooled by your attempts to evade it. I'm assuming you've done some when you were going towards the parking garage, you sort of deked to one side and then went another way. Dave, I'm actually going to send you the stats for Pash here because it's and
I have them.
Oh, wicked! Okay, great.
You know what? Pash is going to turn over to Matt and say to him, "Let's do that thing. You know that thing
We did that time?
that one time." And what Pash is alluding to is combining his terrifying presence with Matt's hallucination.
James, do you have Isa or Kahita's stuff?
Just drawing him up right now.
Oh, sweet. Okay, great. Okay, so what's the plan, guys? You guys have, I'll give you about 3 minutes to figure out what you're doing here.
Well, so, yeah, I mean, Pash was hoping to team up with Matt to combine Pash's terrifying presence with Matt's hallucination.
Nice.
Okay.
I can blow the truck. I guess I can try. I can either use a careful shot or concussive blast or something.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, either of those.
I can use a concussive blast to maybe sort of move it up into the way of the beetle, as well as do some damage, and then somebody else can blow it. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So that's what do you call it? Steve, did you guys hear Steve's suggestion?
Sorry, I'm ordering a pizza right now.
It's okay. So what Steve's suggestion was that he would blast it up in the air, and then maybe someone else could blow it up?
Yeah, okay. So what does this thing look like exactly, Kev?
What does what thing look like?
Brent missed the picture.
Oh, shit. Hold on, Brent. It looks like this.
Because with terrifying.
And again, remember, this thing is twice the size of a cube van.
It's basically one of those things from Warcraft. Yeah.
So if Pash and Matt team up with the and Pash is using Terrifying Presence, which convinces.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this thing could be targeted with Terrifying Presence.
Oh, it couldn't. Okay, well then never mind. That was kind of the whole. That was the crux of the whole plan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, you could do the important thing of like, if this doesn't work, be behind the wheel to get the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, that would obviously that's always the plan B.
Yeah.
Like the tires are already squealing, really.
So right in front of where the van is, then is a something that is a humanoid, slightly taller than it. Black skin, 4 arms, ending in claws, with the head of a jackal.
Nice. Okay. So this terrifying thing appears.
At this creature and like.
Awesome. Okay, so you've got this thing that's like challenging him.
What was the thing
And what do you call it? So, and it's positioned, I guess, in a spot so you could easily launch that thing up. Are you hoping that Kahita's going to cook that off?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, exactly.
Kahita?
All right, I'll blow it up.
Okay, so you guys are all sort of taking positions and getting ready. You stepped off your Ducati so you can kind of bring your power to bear here. Are you, what do you call it? Now, James, do you have a sheet up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so the cost of every one of your powers there, it comes, think of your pools, like your might, your speed, your intellect pools, like hit points. You spend points to use these things, but whatever the cost of spending them is reduced by the corresponding edge. So, for instance, your Shroud of Flame costs you 1 intellect to activate, but that's reduced by 3 because of your intellect edge.
Okay.
Make sense?
Sure.
So any of your things...
If I was to use Inner Fire, it costs 4, and then it ended up only costing 1, so then my intellect goes down to 27?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yep, and then that Inner Fire is... Oh, yeah, right, that lasts and it ignores fire, so that might be remarkably effective. Or it ignores armor, sorry. Okay, so what...
Sorry, I was using it as an example, not as a course of action.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, like, for instance, your Fires from Within costs you nothing. Your Fistable Sound of Woe costs you 1.
Yeah. I was thinking of just using the Fires from Within.
Okay. So, you guys are sort of, like, there's a tense moment where you're all standing around, and there's the ground is rumbling and rumbling. Brent, is this thing moving at all?
Yeah, and it moves, and it it sort of like bounces down like it's gonna lunge.
Okay,
Yeah.
Brent, I'd like you to make a. You're going to use a intellect check, and I'm going to say this thing is the DC is a 3, or the difficulty is a 3, but you get a. You're trained, so you reduce it by 1 for all of your mental powers, so that's down to a 2. Do you want to reduce that any further?
Okay, so a 2 is how many? What's the difficulty to roll on a 2?
Multiply by 3. That tells you what you need to roll or higher. So 2 is a 6.
All right, and so 1 would be, and how many points would it cost me to reduce it to a 1?
To reduce it to difficulty 1 would be 3 points. So, and honestly, you have, because of your edge, Brent, you can always spend 1 level of effort for free.
Okay, so then I will reduce it.
Okay, so you're it would be a 3 or higher, or you could spend 2 points from your intellect pool to do it for automatically.
Well, let's see if I can do a 3 or higher.
Here we go. Speak your words if I ever heard one.
Yeah, I actually have rolled an 8. I was actually expecting a 1 or a 2. That's usually how it goes when I declare things like that.
I'm stealing this joke from Will Wheaton, but you can sort of picture that, like, Luck is somewhere out on a date somewhere, and his ears are burning. He's like, I think I forgot something. All right, I can't be important. Okay, so you, what do you call it? You've got it's completely convincing, Brent. So much so that this thing bursts out of the ground like an explosion, like a mine, like a landmine going off, and smashes down on top of this thing. Would you please make it'll be a DC difficulty level 2 to hit the van.
Difficulty level 2, nice.
Which is a 1 because of your guns.
Okay, nice, okay.
So 3, and you could spend speed to reduce that even further.
Well, it's pretty low as it is, isn't it? I mean, I just need
3 or higher?
3 or higher, let's do it.
Here we go.
Here we go. If I can't beat that,
nice.
Boom, 10.
So you launch this thing up into the air. Kahita?
Yeah.
So to make the attack roll right now, it'll be a difficulty 2. What are you planning on using?
I was going to do Fires from Within.
Okay.
What am I rolling?
Here's this. It's always 1d6, 1d20.
Okay.
And also, here's the thing in this game. You guys may have noticed this. You roll everything. I never roll.
Okay.
What you're going to be rolling, the difficulty right now is a 2, which means it is 2 times 3 is a 6. So you need a 6 or higher. You are, let me see here, your spells, understanding the supernatural. Okay, you got nothing. So right now you need to roll a 6 or higher to hit the van. You could spend up to 3 levels of effort. Each level of effort reduces that by 1.
I'm not going to
First
spend.
one will cost you 3. Second one costs you 5. So like 3 for 1 level, 5 for 2 levels, 7 for 3. You combine the cost of that with your spell, and then you apply your edge. So, for instance, you could do 1 level of effort and cast Fires from Within, which would be 4 minus your edge down to a 1. So it costs you 1 intellect point to roll against a 3 or higher, or you could spend 5 intellect to automatically hit.
Yeah, but you said it's a D20, right?
Yep.
So having to roll a 6 or better, I got pretty good chances.
You do? You want to try that?
And is the effort limitless?
Well, your pool goes down, and then you'll see there's the recovery roll there. Your first recovery roll, you roll 1d6 plus 3, and you get to add that back to whatever pools that are reduced, whatever ones you want.
Where's the recovery roll?
You see
Oh,
right
there's
there.
1d6 plus.
Yep. So the first time it takes you 1 action to do that. Second time is 10 minutes. Third time is an hour. Fourth time in a day is 10 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it without.
Okay, go ahead. Make a d20 roll against a 6 or higher.
I got 12.
Nice. Okay, so what does it look like?
We're
We're in
basically,
a darkened parking lot right now that's lit only by a couple sparse street lights.
yeah, it's a basketball size of fire.
Nice.
It's a ball.
Okay, so Kahita kind of spins around and he speaks in a language that sounds kind of like Japanese but not quite Japanese. And this flaming sphere appears in his hands, and then he, kind of Hadouken style. Yeah, this thing flies out, hits the van, and it explodes into flame. It washes. There's a surprising amount of. Oh, you know what? Remember that nitrous tank you insisted on installing, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah, that cooks off. So there's a secondary explosion. All of you guys are sort of like, whoa, hit back a bit, and this massive bug kind of rolls forward, engulfed in flame. This thing is also much drier than it looks. So even though there's the rain that's sort of spattering down everywhere and hissing as it hits this thing is going up like a fire log. It's kind of like a mixture of like bellowing and hooting in fury and pain as it sort of tears its way partly through the torn van and then sort of slumps down to the side. Kahita, can you please make a roll? You want to roll a 3 or higher. I want to see if you know something.
16.
Okay. This, not surprising to all of you guys, this is the spawn of your foe. That's what he says.
Foe spawn.
Spawn.
So this thing hits the ground and it's burning and crackling and whatnot. What are you guys all doing? Your hallucination, Brent, is still kind of like, you know.
Cool. I'll read the hallucination and fire, and
Okay.
like
It's in fire. So you guys are all sort of looking. Have a second to catch your breath. What do you? So the plan did not go as according to plan. You should get to your the meetup point and get further instructions.
Okay.
Well, Ash has basically been revving the cube van, watching all this kind of transpire in the side view mirrors.
what was it? You've been totally munching on barbecue people.
Now I get on my bike.
Okay. Well, before you guys get a chance to really do that, you can hear kind of like there's like a sound of like cracking, like tile breaking from the direction of the giant insect or insect thing, and you guys all sort of look over and you see it kind of starts cracking, and you see a small kind of like limb punches through from inside of it, and then a second one does from another corner, and slowly this thing that looks like a hideous combination of spider and bat that looks like it's about the size of a like a mastiff starts pulls itself out, sticky with kind of the innards of its host.
Bendry says, spider bats. I hate those.
Nice. Okay. So, and you realize that as this thing is sort of cracking open, this thing is filthy with them. It's just full of these creatures that are slowly kind of pulling themselves out. What are you guys doing?
Zoiks.
I'm going to start
I'm gonna
shooting.
hop in the car next to Pash.
Fist of Asana Woe, it's at.
With my machine gun, can I burst at multiple targets?
Can you burst? Yes. What you could do is you could try and spread against. Hold on, I got the rules for that.
So I assume that it's kind of like we're in a line and it's ahead of us.
Yeah, like what you could do is effectively suppress the fire. You're not really trained with submachine guns all that well, so like it's sort of limited in what you could do with it. Yeah, you could effectively try and cover a whole area, and then you make an attack roll with +1 difficulty against it.
Okay.
Okay.
What do I have to roll to succeed?
Okay. So difficulty is going to be a 4 right now.
So is that 12 or?
12. Yep.
Okay. Oh shit!
What
I rolled
happened?
a 7.
Okay, so you're sort of spraying all over, and effectively what you've done is help these things come out. So it's breaking these things. I'll let all of you guys go before we roll initiative here. Hi, sweetie. And then this thing's carapace is blown away, and more of them are coming out. It looks like there's at least like 30 of these things that are kind of pulling themselves out.
I want to Fist of Asana Woe, basically the center of that group, and I want to use all my effort.
All your effort, nice.
Because it's two extra points of damage for each effort.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be an attack roll then. It'll only be against a difficulty 2, and you can do 3 levels of effort. And Fist of Asana Woe, so it costs you 11 in total. Minus your edge of 3 would be cost you 8. So your pool is intellect pool is now at 20.
Mm-hmm.
But the damage 2, so it's 6. So it'd be 8 damage against everything in there. So go ahead and make your attack roll there, Steve or James. It'd be against a DC 6 or higher.
Okay, good. I got 10.
Okay, nice. So describe for us what happens. How does Fist of Asana Woe work?
You create an explosion of fire at the
James, I just mean like narratively, you can describe it however the hell you like.
It starts off as a small pin of fire, and it slowly expands to the size of a baseball, and it pulses and then explodes.
Nice. Okay, so it does exactly that, and there's this massive gout of fire, hi Speedy, that explodes out from this thing, and yeah, it scatters these things like all around to the point where there's one or two of them actually kind of land at your feet. Now these things look really, really fucked up and really heavily injured, but they're not down still. They're all, what you've done now is sort of scatter them around, and they're ready to sort of pull themselves up. Now Vendry's gone. Kahita's gone. Pash is revving the engine. Matt and Brother Declan and Vendry have to go. What would you guys like to do?
Geez, I don't really have area attacks. I might want to blow up another car if I can to try and see if I can get any more of them.
Sure. Yeah, there's some that are scattered on top of a car. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So I'll say 2. It's a 2, so reduced by 1 because of your guns.
So 1, 2, 3 again.
Yep.
And alrighty, let's do it. Woo! Kaboom, 8.
Nice. Okay. So describe for us how it looks.
All right, so again, I take aim at nice, careful, long aim down the barrel, looking the devil in the eye, and shoot through the wall into the gas tank of a nearby car.
This car explodes into flame, annihilating some of the creatures that were lying on it. Matt? And
I will put a round from my Glock into the nearest one.
okay. Are you trained in guns? I can't remember.
Yes, I am. I am practiced with light and medium weapons.
Okay, practice is different. You see on your character sheets, guys, you have skills listed there. If there's a T, that means you're trained in it, which reduces the difficulty by 1. If there's an S, it means you're specialized. It reduces difficulty by 2. In your case, Brent, I think you're practiced with them, which means you don't suffer a penalty to using them, but you're not spending a lot of time at the sharpshooting range. So what that means is difficulty against this Brent will be a 3. I'll reduce that by 1 though, because they're prone and effectively in a like relatively stationary spot. So
Okay. I got to roll a 5 or better.
no, 6 or better. 3 times 2 is 6.
-1 because you said they were prone.
No. I meant -1 to the difficulty level.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
why I reduced it from 3 down to 2.
Okay. And of course now I roll my 2, so
Luck is back from his date.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you fire this thing, but unfortunately you really need to go and recertify for marksmanship soon.
Looking back from his date, it didn't go well.
It did not go well. No. Okay. So you fire and you unfortunately miss. I think that's everyone has acted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, would you please roll initiative? Now, what initiative is you're rolling a speed check against a difficulty of 3. If you succeed, you act before the monsters. If you fail, you act after them.
All right.
Okay? Feel free to spend effort if you like on those.
I rolled a 19.
3.
Okay.
You can't get above 9. But if we're doing split speed, gotta do it.
Gross.
Oh, I mean, you can pair off from that pool to reduce the difficulty.
Oh,
But-
the effort to...
Yeah, that's the pool you can tap it from.
I rolled 7, so I'm okay.
Okay, and it costs how many points to reduce it by 1?
3, and then 5.
I got a 7.
3. Okay, so 3.
7. Okay, so you failed.
I failed.
It's 9.
Yeah, it's a 9.
9.
Oh.
When I say the difficulty is 3, you got to multiply that by 3 to figure out whatever your number is you have to roll.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, what happens when I fail?
You go after the monsters.
Pass roll of 12.
Pass roll 12. Okay, so you succeed. Anyone who rolls 9 or higher succeeds. You go before the monsters. Anyone who fails an 8 or less goes after.
Can I spend a point for for my speed pool?
You can, yeah, absolutely. And
If
Brett,
I want
actually,
to
because
reduce it to 6, that costs 3 minus my edge of 1, so I go from a 12 to a 10, yeah?
can I suggest something, Brett?
Yeah.
Remember, you got your think your way out. You can use intellect rather than.
And then it doesn't cost anything because it's you use it by one, but it's free, right?
Sorry, that's for non-combat. But yes, that's right. Sorry, my mistake.
Okay, so I'll still use the speed to reduce it to 6.
Yep.
And I rolled 19 this time, so.
Nice. And guys, sorry, I think that there's some of you were trained in initiative as well too. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
I rolled a 19, so I don't really need to.
No, you're actually,
my initiative is reduced by 1 anyway.
If you roll a 19, remember, like set between 17 and 20 generally has extra effects beyond just normal shit. So, Cork, because you roll a 19, you can get a good minor effect, which would be something like, so I don't know, not something. It's not like rolling a triumph, but it's sort of like a mid ground. What cool thing do you think you'd like to have happen for Vendry?
For Vendry?
Because we roll his initiative.
It's hard to embellish an initiative roll.
Are you able to get yourself in a really good position, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I'm on top of the van.
Okay, so you climb up top and you're ready to go. That'll give you. So for 1 round, I'll give you an asset, and that reduces the difficulty of your next action by 1.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So whoever succeeded, you guys get to go before these the critters. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I got a 19, so can I use a minor effect to run and gun? Like
Run and gun?
Like hop to the van and fire as I'm moving?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do something even cooler than that. Like that's you could move and still attack. Do you want to do something else, like something additionally cool?
Attack and run at the same time.
Remember, what Vendry did is he's getting an asset for this round. You could do something similar.
Well, sorry, I'm not familiar with that.
Asset is just it gives you for 1 round you'd be able to reduce the difficulty by 1.
Go up on top of the van.
Yeah, or what if it's a van. If the windows are open, I could Dukes of Hazzard into a window and brace my arm against the side mirror to improve my shot.
Absolutely, you learned that's perfect. So you'll have a free asset for this round. So who would like to go? Maybe the guys who rolled 19. You guys get to go first. So you're on top of the van, Cork, and Brent, you're in the thing. Do you guys want to attack?
Yeah, I want to take another burst or whatever, like I did last time.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Oh, it didn't bump the cigarette box. Did I get to re-roll? I got a 6.
Once again, you're kind of firing all over. But 6, I think, is good enough, though, wasn't it? It was plus 1 difficulty, so no. You're sort of firing blind again, too, I guess. But you did get a free asset, so I will let you hit some of them.
Okay.
What's the damage of your submachine gun?
The damage of my submachine gun is...
It was same as your blaster carbine, so 4.
Okay.
Okay. Now, guys, remember, in any round, you can spend up to 3.3 levels of effort. Those can be spent to reduce the difficulty of your rolls or to boost damage by 3 for each level you spend.
I don't want to spend any more of my points.
Okay. So you're up there and you fire away. Okay, who wants to go next? Brent? Do you want to do your...
Okay, so an asset would reduce it to what difficulty level?
Yeah, well, their difficulty now, so they're sort of like clustering up into groups of them as they're sort of getting ready to take wing. So the difficulty for against them would be 4, but it would be reduced down to 3 because of your asset.
Okay, let me give this bullet a whirl. Yeah, I cannot speak. I'm gonna shoot the fire army thing that. Oh, and I roll a 3, so I will miss yet again with this gun.
Yeah. In spite of taking aim, these things are it's difficult to get a good shot on them. Who'd like to go next? Who else won? Declan won,
Sure.
And Pash, I think, won.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's try out taking one of these guys out with a shot.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So it sounds like Pash is in the front seat of this van. Matt's in the passenger seat. Vendry's on top. do you want to move into the van as well?
Oh yeah, I guess I better. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll jump into the van and then try to pick one off.
Okay.
Here we go. Difficulty.
Difficulty is 4, reduced by 1 because of the what do you call it? Because your ability, which under 3. So it's a 3 or 3 because of your guns.
Right.
So it's a 3 right now.
Okay, straight up. Let's go.
Here we go.
This takes the guy out.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Shot. Okay, so blam. It does 5 points of
One
damage.
between the eyes.
Yeah.
5 points of damage.
So yeah, so one of these things is sort of split apart by your Mystic Blast. Why
Green
don't you
brain
describe for
splatter.
James what it looks like, because he hasn't heard yet.
Pick one between the eyes, and the bullet goes through its head, and its head explodes, and this green ichor goes.
And what does your pistol look like?
Oh, my pistol is this is my double.
Yeah, so you know what? You've decided it's serious business. So he places away one of his Colt Peacemakers, and he draws a second one out that has 2 barrels.
That's right. In line up and down, and it's got sort of markings all over the sides, and it glows for the most part with swirling
Blue
symbols.
power, yeah. So there's a blue circle of runes that appears as he lowers his gun, and as you fire, this time it sounds like the triumphant roll of drums. So, wow, and this thing explodes.
Echoing off buildings.
Pash, you're the last one to go before the monsters. What would you like to do?
Pash will turn the van around, and he'll say to the guys on top of the roof, he's like, "It seems like you guys might need a bit more range." And at that, he will floor the van,
Okay.
and attempt to use it as a battering ram, and just smash. He's just pinballing off of these things.
So, difficulty is 4, but it'll be reduced by 2 because of your driving ability. I'm effectively repurposing your space ability, incidentally. If you're curious where that's coming from, your StarCraft ability, you're specialized in that. I'm just applying that to your driving.
Okay.
Okay. So you that means it's a 2 right now. Do you want to spend anything to reduce that further, or?
This would be on speed.
Yep.
What do I have left there in that pool?
You have 8 points of speed left. But what I will say is you would have had a free action if you wanted to try and make a recovery roll.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Okay, so roll 1d6 and add 3 to it, and that's how much you could have recovered.
Roll to 4.
Okay, so you add 7 points. Your speed is currently 8. Your intellect is currently 13. You want to add? You can split that any way you like.
I'm going to add all of it to speed.
Okay, so your speed is back to a 15.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
You know what? I'm going to. Well, I'll use the points to reduce it so that it's kind of a done deal.
Okay, awesome. So it was only a 2, which means it'll cost you 2 levels of effort. Is 5 minus your edge in speed, which means it costs you 4 points. You're down to 14, down to 11 in speed. So describe for us what happens.
Yeah. So the guys that are not on the van, all they hear is the squeal of tires and the roar of the engine, except it's getting closer, and the van basically is bouncing off some of the other cars and breaks through. And the way that Pash is driving it, it's almost like
He's drunk.
Yeah, a lot like that. But he's almost bouncing the front end of the van in spurts. So it comes up and the front lifts and almost crushes down on these things, and then he'll squeal away again. So he accelerates, hits the brakes hard, which causes the back end to kind of, well, yeah, basically flatten down and the front tires come off the ground. The van almost kind of looks like Pac-Man at this point.
Ba-blam, ba-blam. So, Vendry, can you make a speed check for me against a difficulty 2?
Yeah. So I gotta beat 4?
6 or higher.
6 or higher. Okay, I can do this.
Okay.
10.
Nice. So you're sort of like, whoa, and grabbing the sides, and it's going to...
Basically, like, I think Vendry is standing there, and he was, like, in shooting position, and he fell down in such a way backwards that he rolled over like a somersault and stood right back up again.
Nice. Okay, so then the critters go, and what happens is basically all of them sort of skitter along. There are 3 of them that leap up onto the bike, the Ducati, and kind of smash it to the ground and begin tearing bits off of it. So that's not really going to function any longer. And then each of you guys, I would like you to please make a speed defense against a difficulty of 3.
Speed defense.
So what's happening is all these things are sort of leaping up. Pash, yours is against, they're attacking the vehicle. The rest of you guys, because of your cover, I will give you 1 asset. Anyone who's inside the van gets 1 asset for that.
All right.
Which means 1 free, you reduce it down to a 2.
Maybe can I be helpful to the driver and yell out where the bugs are or whatever? And
Sure.
all right.
Yeah.
I'll use my help.
Cork, are you there still? Oh, we may have lost Corey.
I just have to. My pizza's here.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Kevin,
Yeah.
how's the effort work? Because I'm going to use a point of effort for the speed.
Okay, so first one costs you 3, and then you're going to get 2 more. Each extra level costs you 2 more.
What do you mean? Cost me 3.
Well, okay, so what you do is you reduce your speed pool by 3.
All right. Yeah.
And then so to do 1 level, which would reduce it down to a 2, would cost you 3 points. To reduce it down to a 1 would cost you 5 points. To do it automatically would cost you 7.
7 points of pool.
That's right, yeah.
I'm just going to spend the 1 effort. So what's
Okay.
that like? What's that do to my target number?
So your target number, it puts the difficulty level down by 1, so from a 3 to a 2, which means you're rolling against a 6 or higher.
Okay.
Okay. So your pool is now, your speed is now a 7.
Goodness, I got a 7 again.
Nice, perfect. Okay, so you, what do you call it? These things come at you. You know what? Also remember your. Did you activate your Shroud of Flame?
No, but I want to.
Okay.
But
You will do that on your round.
yeah, it's not on my round. That's what I want to do.
Okay. How did the rest of you guys do?
So difficulty.
Yours will be difficulty 2 because you're inside the van.
Got it. Boom. Boom. Get out. Hey, good time to roll.
Good stuff.
So I had an asset, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I spent another level for my speed, so it cost me 2 points of speed.
Yep.
So I'm down to 10.
Yep.
And then I rolled a 17.
Sweet. Nice. Okay. So you, you're able to. Well, Brent, what does it look like? These things all kind of screech in and try and slam against the window.
Oh, that's really easy. I duck my ass back inside the van.
Whoa! So you've been like leaning out, shooting these things, and you see them coming in. You get in time. It mangles the rear view mirror or the side mirror, but you're not. You're unhurt. Pash and
I
Vendry.
was like that, and then when they came in, I'm like, whoa, and just like threw myself back in.
Pash and Vendry, how are you doing?
Pass roll to 12.
Pash roll 12. Nice. Okay, so you're able to keep the van out of the way of these things. What does it look like? Hey, sweetie.
Well, that's basically what Pash was doing is basically eating these creatures with the van.
Okay. Nice. So these things you're able to sort of maneuver so they don't get they get out of the way. And who's left? Vendry. How'd you do in your defense? Courtney, so you need to roll a 9 or higher. And you can spend points from your speed to upgrade it. Of course, and he's paying for a speed set. So we will find out what's happening.
I'm back. What do I got to roll?
9 or higher, please.
20.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so this is just like a what do you call it? A triumph in Star Wars. So something awesome happens. What do you think happens?
I wasn't sure what I was rolling for because I just got back for the pizza.
Oh, sorry. So these things came swarming in at you.
Okay.
This is your roll to get the fuck out of the way.
Okay, I kind of like do a weird sidestep so that they actually bump into each other and fall off the van.
Nice. Okay, so they come screeching in. You once again roll again, and they hit and tumble off the sides. Kahita, you're the last one to act this round. What would you like to do?
Well, I want to activate my shot of flame, but is there any way of activating that and the katana fire at the same time?
Katana, both of those. Shot of flame costs you no action to activate, I don't think.
Nope, it's 1 intellect.
So that costs you 1 intellect, and your katana fire will cost you 3.
Yeah.
And that doesn't cost you an action either. So basically, at a gesture, you could create both of those things.
Okay.
And you still have. Now that does cost you. You're spending 4 intellect, which is reduced by your edge.
Right.
So you got a 19 intellect.
Correct.
If you spend any further intellect this round, your edge doesn't apply.
Right.
What do you call it? So you burst into flame. The katana comes springing to your hand. What do you want to do?
Oh, if I still have an action, then I want to attack the nearest one.
Sweet.
You said what? 3 of those fucking things ripped up my bike?
Yes.
So I want to attack, if I can, all 3.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. What am I going to do?
The difficulty is 3, so it means a 9 or higher, and then you can. It's an intellect attack, so you could spend effort from your intellect. You haven't spent any effort yet.
I'll spend 3 effort.
Okay, so it reduces it by 1. You mean you're going to spend 3 points, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So your intellect is down to a 16 now. Go ahead and make a roll. It'll be against 6 or higher.
14.
Awesome. So you, describe. You've killed 3 of these things. What does it look like?
I was on the bike. They basically probably knocked me off my bike.
Yep.
Got up, shrouded myself in flame, and did almost sort of like a kata kind of maneuver where I do an overhead strike, do a spin with a backhand strike that cuts the other 2 in half.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, those things are annihilated, and the van is sort of like bang, 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 going around in the parking lot with these things swarming around it. Top of the round, anyone who succeeded last, so everyone other than Kahita, what would you guys like to do? You can go in whatever order you like.
Do I have any grenades or anything like that?
I don't think so. Does Vendry, the character, the Star Wars character, have grenades?
I don't think so.
No, I said I don't think so.
No, I don't. Okay. I think I'm going to make another... I don't want to make a burst attack. I want to make like just a regular attack against one that's already injured.
Okay, sweet. Go ahead and make... So it'd be a difficulty of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not going to do it.
Oh, you know what? So if you're doing burst fire, it reduces the difficulty by 1 and just reduces damage by 1.
Yeah, but I rolled a 5.
Oh, well, yeah, 3. No, that would not cut it.
Okay, I roll 5 sometimes.
Okay. Nice. That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vendry's gone. Who else would like to go?
I guess I better blow one away. I'm out of tricks for the moment, so I'll just settle for that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Usual. Go fair. Kablam, 11. Boom.
Nice.
All right.
Get the hits. Another one was just vaporized by your shot. We got Matt and Pash.
Pash will go.
Yep. What do you want to do?
Basically the same thing. I mean, at this point, the van has a nice cadence to it. So whoever's on top trying to shoot, he's not going to switch things up, but yeah, he's just crushing bugs.
Stomp, stomp, stomp. Okay, so go ahead and make another driving check. It'll be against difficulty 3. But I'll allow you to use your driving ability, so it's effectively a difficulty 1.
Well, Pash easily made that. He rolled a 13, so.
Nice. Okay. So once again, wham, wham, 3 more of these things are annihilated. Matt, you're the last one to act here.
All right. How many of these things are left, roughly?
How many of these? There are, let me think here, about 3, 6, there's about 9 of them left.
A giant hawk swoops into the, out of the sky, like it's gonna like snatch some of them up in its talons.
Okay, so what you're going to do then, Brent, is because I'm assuming you're using your illusion to try and affect these things, or your hallucination. That means it's an intellect attack against them. So it's difficulty 3, but because you're trained in all of those things, it's a difficulty 2, and you can spend effort from your intellect if you like.
And the first effort I spend is free because I've got an edge of 3?
No, what it does, because effort costs you 3 and your edge is 3, as long as you don't spend intellect on anything else, it makes it free. But you're using hallucination, which costs you 3 intellect. So if you that's free, but if anything you spend over that would be regular cost.
Okay. So right now, without reducing it, I need to get a 6 or better, correct? Because it's a difficulty of 2?
That's right, yep.
All right, well, let's see if I do with roll this better than I do with the pistol.
And actually, Brent, like, you don't need to necessarily affect one of them. I'll allow you to affect all the remaining things.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I rolled a 12, so it goes off.
Nice. So there's, what do you go? It looks like there's, I'm going to say, a bunch of hawks coming down, because remember, you can fit, it's a 100-foot cube, right? So there's a bunch of these things that come down, and these things kind of squeal and then fly off. After it takes you a moment before you realize that apart from the like patang, 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 the van kind of stomping around or banging upside down like some kind of like South LA gangers car, and the giant immolated motorcycle rider. There's no other sounds here. So Pash is sort of ba-dum, ba-dum. And what I'll say is, as you sort of there's another blissful moment of peace where you realize that everything is sort of like, okay, I think that we're safe. And that's when Matt, Kahita, and Declan double over in pain. Guys, you think that your head may split open. You're just hit with an unbelievable wave of, it's like a sudden and unexpected migraine hits you. Aura, like twinkling of lights, pounding in your temples, nausea, causes you all to sort of stagger and almost double over. What do you guys do?
I shoot myself with a dispelling word.
Yes. Don't worry, I got the answer.
I'm actually. Do I understand if this is magical in nature or?
Yeah, I think you're not gonna have to roll for that. You sort of you double over and you look back and you see now that the van has sort of come to a stop. Matt kind of doubles over, and Declan was either shooting out the back or the side or what?
The back, yeah.
The back, and you see Declan kind of as much as Clint Eastwood can really show pain. He sort of staggers and grabs his forehead, and you're able to put 2 and 2 together. You realize that you're all the ones that are attuned to supernatural forces. So
okay.
What do you could make a.
I'm tempted on doing a dispel magic, but I don't.
You know what? To understand it, you are trained in all actions involving identifying or understanding the supernatural.
Okay.
So you could, and with your intellect edge, your intellect edge, you get a free raise on it. So what I'd allow you to do is basically roll against a difficulty 2. It would be a difficulty. No, you know what? Difficulty 1. I'd say 3. Matt and Declan, if you guys want to roll, it's a difficulty 3. And you can tell me if you've got something that you think might reduce that.
Religion. Let me think.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Two. Brent, is there something Matt might have that would reduce that?
I'm just looking.
I got something called Burning Mind. You're trained in intellect defense.
Oh, look! I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay. That's
good, right?
yeah, no. One is awesome.
So number 1.
Oh, I know what happens. I'm so happy. I gotta go to the washroom and grab some water, guys. But
This is fans.
Matt, do you have anything?
Just my flex skill. That was the only thing I think I could pull out.
Flex skill is other than attacks or defense. Yeah. So what your flex skill is, Brent, is well, as it described, what I'm picturing it being is that you're sort of like reaching out and sort of like it's a shitty analogy, but like photocopying someone else's skill onto your brain for the day.
Cool.
So yeah, why not? You know, this
Xerox.
preparing for this mission, you absolutely would have known that supernatural things were important. So your difficulty is a 2.
Okay.
I rolled a 15.
Oh, actually, Brent, yours will be 1 as well because your edge will allow you to spend 1 for free.
Nice. I rolled a 10, so that works.
Okay. So what? I'm gonna go to the washroom and grab some water, guys, and then we'll come back and we'll see what happens.
Where'd my water go?
It's over here. I get it.
Thanks, sir.
Over what do you call it? Lemon water. Sure.
No, I just got to go back to Maui to get more. I'll agree. Why? Maui. What kind of whiskey that one's out of?
I need to roll a 15, right? What? Can you roll a 15?
And then brought up some whiskey, some more scotch. Actually, Basil was bourbon. There's another bourbon. There's sour mash bourbon, and then there's some.
You know what is when I have to piss, pour water.
Did I bring? I think I just.
Not helping at all. I swapped it off here.
Scotch.
Ooh, I should make coffee earlier.
Would you like?
Let's see you guys.
Oh, yeah, I'm both forcing you guys to stay late after this because I've had 2 burning passions I can enact because the. No. There's like you get double penetrate. I want to do the double fisting thing.
No.
Or the D&D one, or that smash up card game.
Let's be
I'll choose one of the 3.
He's a big dog. For some video game. I can give that a shot. Sorry, you talking about the United Clash.
Yeah, I just got that point where
Oh my goodness! So,
I'll be right back.
good girl, good girl. Okay. Oh, are we all back?
Brent's away temporarily, but he'll be back shortly.
Okay. Then, what I was going to say is, Kahita, because you rolled so well, and because you rolled really well earlier when you were trying to detect that, and you said like, "Oh, that's our foe," you can tell that what's happened is there effectively is a wave of unfathomable power that just kind of echoed out from the server farm where you guys went. Just as background, what happened is you guys sort of went. Pash and Matt were back up. You were like the real backup. Things get really bad. Declan and Vendry broke into this server farm or a server warehouse used by Blizzard. And what Declan was going to do is basically the way that obviously you deal with a demon-infested server is by pouring a giant glass of water, of holy water, down onto it.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So that's what he did, and unfortunately it did not go as planned, and they had to fight their way out. They were rescued by Pash and Matt, and then you came to their rescue after that thing happened. But you know it was never an issue of destroying one server, there is the enemy, the foe, something more unfathomably evil and powerful that it would make Fu Lang seem as an insect by comparison. Something that is, and that a thing that is anathema to existence, anathema to reality. It's just kind of.
We have to go back to the server farm.
Sorry, that's where it came from. That pulse of power, and maybe that's what Kahita has been describing. And Vendry then says that we have to go back to the server farm, and that's when you guys realize that Declan has just dropped to the ground and is convulsing.
It's not good.
I'm not really trained in medicine.
So
Please say that while you're standing over him too.
Yeah. It's just, I got this thing about germs. You wouldn't understand.
What are you guys seeing?
did they actually kill the demon in the server?
Vendry and Declan, do you want to tell them what happened?
We had an elaborate plan, broke into the server room, poured a bunch of water on it, and then all hell broke loose, so we booked it out of there.
So, as far as you know, the server is still possessed?
There's a good chance.
Okay. So, there's a good chance that maybe that action weakened the server or something like that, and this thing's now able to get free?
We might have released it, yeah.
Oh, that's still good.
If the enemy was actually able to pierce through, nothing would remain. So, but what that doesn't mean that it's not like some titanic stone hitting a still pond. Even this thing's attention causes ripples across all of reality. And what you see is, you know that this is probably what's hit everyone, and apparently has hit Declan worst. So he's on the ground convulsing, and what are you guys doing?
Kill him and put him out of his misery?
I think I'm fine. I think I'm getting better.
Nothing we can do, guys. Sorry. So what are you guys going to do?
Pash will see if he can kind of minister to Declan. I mean, he's not trained in medicine or anything, but
There's some basic, first aid shit. I imagine that you've got under your belt. So you can make an intellect check against a actually really only against a 2.
okay. So, does my edge apply to that at all?
Yeah, is your edge a 3?
2.
2, so you could spend a point of effort to, you could get a level of effort for 1 point from your pool.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
As a trucker, you always carry Pepto-Bismol around, so you could try that.
Yeah, that always works for most things.
Okay.
Pash rolled a 4.
Okay. James, I will point out you could use an action to do a recovery check if you'd like.
I was actually thinking that.
Okay. So go ahead and roll 1d6 plus 3, and that's how many points you recover. Your speed is down by 3, and your intellect is down by 12.
Woo! Got a 9.
Nice! Where do you want to put that?
All back into intellect.
Okay.
I would like to do the same.
Okay, have you done that yet, Brent?
I have not.
Sweet, go ahead and do it. Okay, so you guys have all sort of stepped out of the vehicle now, and
Sorry, how much intellect do I have now?
your intellect is now 25.
25?
Yeah, because you were at 16 and you recovered 9.
Right. And I never spent any of my speed pool.
You did. You spent 3.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, you used 1 level of effort when you were trying to get away from those critters.
Okay.
I second that. Okay, guys. So, Pash, how'd you do?
4.
4. Okay, so honestly, it's not surprising to learn that you have no idea what's going on with this thing.
Oh,
What the hell? You think there maybe like his throat is kind of like pulsing as if there's like something stuck in it.
but didn't Pash only need 3 because he was down? All he had to roll was.
Your difficulty was a 2. You need to roll a 6. Would you roll?
Well, but I thought you said based on the Pash's edge, it was a 1.
Oh, you spent. I'm sorry. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So you've got him. So he's still convulsing, and you've identified that there's something in his throat, like something is caught in there.
You're gonna have to cut off his head.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
What are you gonna do?
You know, Pash will fish in there with his fingers and try to like scoop whatever it is out.
In his throat?
Okay, so he's sort of, yeah, his eyes have sort of rolled in the back of his head. You sort of scoop in, and there's something, it's huge. It's this long, slimy kind of like tentacle type thing that seems like cold, unbelievably cold, like a giant, angry frozen octopus tentacle.
Where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, really.
That's sushi.
He's
Sushi. I'm gonna try to cut the tentacle off. Someone get a hold of it.
He's right now. He's kind of got his hand in his mouth, and he can feel this thing. What are you doing with it?
Pash will like pull it out like a ripcord on a lawnmower. That shouldn't do any damage.
Okay, so you sort of like reach around, and it does take you a couple tries to get a good grasp on this. Then you sort of wrench, and you can hear a horrible convulsing from almost whimpering from Declan as you sort of and you pull, and this thing kind of like it's this giant. It's about the size of, I guess, like my arm that comes out of his mouth. It pinches in at his mouth, but his mouth is basically forced open as large as it can, and there is this thing is sort of like twisting and wriggling, and it's you're actually gonna take 1 point of damage, so you lose 1 from your might pool because of how cold this thing is. And as you pull, it keeps coming. You pull to your full arm's length. And this thing is kind of like pulsing as if there's different impossible muscles inside it pushing up against the inside of this thing's skin. You could try and like stand and yank this. You said actually that's how you described it, right?
Basically, and I mean if there's more that's coming than Pash anticipated, he'll basically like fist over fist it so that he continues pulling it out.
I'm still shrouded in fire. Can I help him?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, absolutely. And even is there a prayer that you could make to the fortunes to try and like protect him?
Sure.
Okay, so you sort of step in, and you're not gonna take that damage, Pash. You feel this arm warming at presence on your hand, and now you're suddenly shrouded in flame as well too. Although it's not burning you, it's actually protecting you from this numbing cold. After a couple more yanks, Declan, you've sort of like you're back now, and you're enveloped in this flame as well too, and you're experiencing this impossibly long thing is being pulled out of you. What do you do? Apart from panic, I guess.
That's what I do.
Okay, nice. Terrific role playing.
Right.
So this thing is finally, with the combined efforts of you guys, you wrench this thing out and you toss it. And it's sort of, it's like a giant eel almost that is sort of wriggling around. And
I'm gonna pop off a shot at it.
Yeah, I shoot it for sure.
okay, so you shoot this thing, and as you you're sort of like wipe your mouth and bam, and blast this thing. every hit that hits this thing, the eel, it bursts open and suddenly like disgusting confetti almost. More substance of this comes out, and it's like watching muscles, hideous dark purple muscles, kind of wriggle and form together as this thing begins to like a tumor growing in front of you guys, and you guys all sort of stagger back, and what you all hear in your minds, in your original languages, is no hope. Can you guys all roll initiative for me, please? So a speed check against a difficulty of 6.
Yeah. I'm rolling like awesome rolls on initiative and crap on everything else.
Remember, a difficulty of 6 means an 18.
Yeah.
No,
sure.
that's what I rolled is 18.
Oh, sweet!
Oh, I thought you meant a difficulty of 6 was a total.
No.
I roll okay. I rolled a 16 now. Now that you said that, can I use something to effort in retrospect?
You can, but you would have to re-roll then.
Reroll. Boo. Okay, that's fair. All right. I didn't realize difficulty is 6. Okay, so and this is a speed check.
Hi. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So.
So it reduces it by 2 when I use, or
Well, it depends on your attribute. What's your
Okay, I guess I have to use 2. That's 6 points, right?
So,
That brings it down to 12.
If you spend 6 points, that brings it down from a 6 to a 4.
right, to make it down to 15, you'd have to spend 3 points.
Here we go. Come on, baby. 13.
Nice.
What's up?
Okay.
What did you roll?
13. And I reduced it by 2.
probably one less anyways.
Oh.
I rolled a 5, so it didn't really matter. I rolled a 4. I rolled 5.
Okay. So whoever failed, is that everyone except for Steve and Cork?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you two guys get to go. This thing appears to be growing. It's now currently the size of like a hatchback.
Yikes. Okay. So I go first then.
And it seems to be like, taking a roughly humanoid form. You go first. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Do I sense that it's got magic on it?
You definitely. Oh yeah, that thing, that the presence you felt when you were in the server room.
Right.
That this thing is just, it's like that, but magnified up to an impossibly loud level.
All right. Well, I'm gonna nail it with a dispelling ward. And let's stack. I'm going to do concussive shot and dispelling ward all at once.
I can't, because dispelling ward takes your action.
Oh, okay. Dispelling ward then. Okay, got it. All right.
Okay.
Well, dispelling ward then.
Nice. Just try and get rid of. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So go ahead and
So I get to subtract.
make an intellect check against it, and the difficulty. It's gonna be tough. It'll be 5.
Difficulty 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 intellect, and then what are my modifiers here? Do I get one for this?
Nope, because it's
Okay.
not. You're not using your guns to use dispelling ward. You're using one of your prayers.
Oh, okay. So what, religion then?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Why not?
Okay, so that brings it down to
4.
That brings it down to 4. The difficulty
Yeah.
you made.
Difficulty's a
So
4
it's
now.
16. So when I was using a 3,
No,
so what?
4 is a 12.
4 is a 12. Sorry. And then my edge helps out with
Reduces that by 1 or by 3.
reduces that by 3. So there's 1.
But it doesn't reduce anything else. Remember.
And then I can also let's reduce the difficulty again too. One more time. So that's
Okay, so
another-
that'll cost you. So you spend in total 4 intellect this round.
4 intellect, so it goes up to 8 then.
Yeah.
Okay, now my difficulty is a 3.
Your difficulty is a. It was a 5, reduced by 1 from your religion, reduced by 1 more, which means it's a 3. Yeah.
3.
so
Here
9.
we go.
Okay.
All right. Come on, motherfucker. Rock and roll, fucks. 6. Damn it.
Okay. So you, what do you call it? You try and cast your prayer. This thing is beyond faith. This thing is beyond, like I said, no hope. Your paltry prayers falter against this thing's impossible nature. Cork, you get to go. What would you like to do?
I've only been using this one weapon. Do I have another weapon?
You do not, but you can. This system supports any kind of creative use of like the scenery or whatever. So
Yeah. No, I like doing that. This thing is undead?
you don't know what this thing is. You suspect it's not undead, but it is. It's not of this world.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send it back to where it came from then.
Yeah.
Nice.
So blaster carbine. What do I need to spend to bring down
Submachine gun.
or to increase my damage once I hit it?
So what you can do is you can spend up to 3 points of effort, or sorry, 3 levels of effort on your turn. Each of those levels of effort can be spent to reduce a difficulty by 1, or it can increase your damage by 3.
Damage.
Okay.
Do I have to spend that before I roll to hit?
Yeah, you have to decide how you're going to spend that before you roll.
Okay, I'm doing it to damage.
So what would you like? So that would be speed. You're currently rocking 10. You got 10 speed in your pool. How many levels? It's remember 3 points for 1, 5 for 2, 7 for 3, and you reduce the overall cost by 1.
Let's do 3.
Okay. Difficulty to hit this thing is only difficulty 4.
So what do I have to beat?
Right now you're rolling against a 12 or higher.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Here we go.
Oh! I rolled a 2.
No!
We're all missing.
So you're kind of firing at this thing, but like the space seems to warp around this thing, and your bullets are skittering into the ground. This thing, on its turn, it lurches over and then lurches up, rearing to this height, and it in an unthinkably fast time, this thing lurches up and looks like this, guys.
Nah.
A giant octopoid thing that stands probably the height, towering up to the full height of the what do you call it? The highest point on a streetlight. And this thing, as it sort of rears up and its flesh kind of undulates and gurgles, it once again speaks out. This time in a more a voice that seems as if it's whispered in your ear from someone with their lips right against the back of your ear, to the point where you can feel almost its wet breath on you. No hope. And I would like everyone to make an intellect defense, please, against a difficulty of 4.
I get.
Nope. Don't you hump him.
All right.
This is what this thing is reared up to right now.
I rolled another 2.
It's as tall as the highest point of a streetlight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And so I can use my edge and then reduce it by 1.
Yep.
And spend nothing. Okay.
Yep.
So
I rolled another 2, so I doubt I passed that.
You rolled another 2?
Yeah.
I rolled a 5. This is not going well.
Okay. So you failed. You can feel your body is going into uncontrollable spasms. You take 5 points of might damage.
Oh dear, dear.
Sorry, Cork, how'd you do?
2.
You as well too. Your body is racked with spasms, and you take 5 points of might damage. Well, actually, your might is down to a 0.
I have 2 left.
Yeah. So okay, your might is a 0. Your speed is down to a 7, and you are impaired. It means you have your difficulty of all tasks is up by 1.
Yeah,
Huh?
I was drunk.
How did everyone at Brent Spice do?
Hold on, Kevin, I've got something called Burning Mind. You're trained in intellect defense.
Yep. So that reduces the difficulty by 1.
It says I have a +2 armor.
What that would mean is, so against this thing, if you fail your defense, you're going to take 5 points of damage. That armor would apply against it. So you would take only 3 to your might.
Okay. So, sorry, what am I rolling then?
So the difficulty is a 4. You would reduce it by 1 because of your burning mind, and you could use effort, 1 level of effort from your intellect to reduce that by 1 more for free. So you go to 6 or less, and then you could spend another 2 or 4 points to reduce that by another 1, and then by 2 to automatically succeed.
I'll spend 1 point to knock it down to 4.
Okay. So you're down to, well, let me see here. It's a 4 right now. So it's a 3 because of your intellect defense. You mean you're going to reduce it down to 2. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, 2 is for free. You could spend 2 points of your intellect pool to reduce that down to 1, which would be a roll of 3 or higher to succeed.
Okay.
Okay, so your intellect is 23. Go ahead and make your roll. Brent, how you do?
I made it. I used intellect to reduce it by 1.
Okay.
And then I rolled a 12. So.
Nice. Okay.
Got a 10.
Nice. Okay. And Pash, how'd you do?
Pash shit the bed.
Oh. Pash, you as well are racked by spasms of fear. Now, those of you who are afflicted by this, think back to your to where you were from originally, and describe for us what would be a personal hell for you. What sort of loss? What would drive you to the lowest depths of despair?
Vendry is imagining a vision of him spending eternity in the same room as these 5 characters.
Nice. In the old age home together. Yes. Gee, what is Brother Declan's sort of in a world full of faithless robots where everything else has been destroyed?
Awesome. What I'm going to suggest for Vendry is actually he is the #1 star of the galaxy's most popular reality show. Everyone knows who Vendry is. Everyone recognizes his face. He cannot go anywhere without being identified and approached.
Yeah, that would bug him.
Okay. And Pash, what would personal vision of hell?
Personal vision of hell?
Oh, can I suggest something?
I got one too.
So,
Let's compare our notes.
very briefly, you see yourself standing with a captain's uniform, gazing out on effectively a Imperial Star Destroyer-sized ship full of slaves.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's good. My thought for Pash was him being a low-level Imperial bureaucrat pushing paper in some land-bound small office somewhere.
I think that given the last couple of sessions, this may be the most,
Slave, yeah, the slave works.
Okay, everyone else succeeded, and so you're not afflicted by that vision. This thing has now reared up tall enough that it may be able to bring these massive tentacles down to bear in the next round. So anyone who lost initiative, which is everyone other than Vendry and Declan, you guys get to go now. What would you like to do?
I better dispel ward myself.
It hits you it's only a split second of that vision of hell you have. You're not stuck there.
I'm not retching anymore?
Nope, you've recovered otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing is out of you, but because you rolled that 1,
right.
That's why this thing was able to latch onto you and come partly through.
Okay.
So you've already gone though, because you cast a spelling word. So has Vendry. So it's everyone other than you and Cork.
Right.
So everyone at Brent's, what do you guys want to do?
Pash will run with Terrifying Presence.
Nice. Okay. So what does he do? You had that brief vision of hell. Oh no, sorry. It only affects a target of level 3 or lower. This is a level 6.
Yeah.
But hold on here. You know what? You could spend 3 levels of effort to try and affect this thing.
Can I combine a power with my action with Pash's?
What are you thinking of doing?
Well, this is some hellish creature. I was thinking a rather large angelic figure appears in front of it and laughs.
Is phenomenally Brett, your difficulty to try and get that off would be a 6. So that's an 18. -1 is your level. Well, you can try that, Brent.
And you said I'm trained in it, right? So that reduces it to 5.
Yep. So it'll be a 15.
And then on the first.
Brett, before you do that, let's let Dave have his turn. So Dave, in order to pull that off, so it costs you 2 intellect to use Terrifying Presence. 3 levels of effort would cost you 7 more. So that's 9 minus 2 would be 7 points of intellect to try and terrify this thing.
Okay, could I use 2 more points of intellect and combine that with telling? This ability provides an asset to any task attempting to deceive, persuade, or intimidate.
Okay, you can't because activating telling is an action, but what you could do is use activate telling this round, and then next round try and do this then.
Sure.
Okay. So you, so you activate. What is that? What would Pash be doing to sort of like get himself ready?
He, you know what? He basically goes back inside his mind, and he's trying to wipe away not only that last memory that was put there by this guy, but he's putting himself back into the cockpit of any cruiser, spaceship, pod racer that he was in, and running through the last moments where he crossed that finish line first.
Was his fate? Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah. So you're getting yourself ready, and there's a little twinkle that returns to his eye. Now, sorry, Brent, what were you going to try and do?
I was going to work with Pash, and if he's going for the fear thing, I thought this thing might fear an angelic figure.
Again, like this thing is not demonic. This thing is beyond existence. This is like the anathema, the nemesis to this thing is existence. This is not a Judeo-Christian heaven-hell type thing. This is something so wrong your brain is struggling to process this thing's presence.
It's Donald Trump's comb-over just basically lifted off his head.
Yes.
So the opposite would be like a lot of life or things enjoying life.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay. How about a bunch of people at a party? Or a wedding, or something like
People sitting around
euphoric and enjoying.
Yeah, sure.
It's a Small World ride from Disneyland.
That would be awesome.
That is something beyond existence and wrong. And okay, so Brent, so that's great. What I'll allow you to, because you're going that strategy, I'll give you an asset for that as well. So why don't you make an attack against the difficulty for that thing would be 4 then right now.
Okay. And then if I use my intellect, so I can spend.
You can still spend effort as well, but I'm assuming that you're using your edge would effectively reduce the hallucination to cost 0. Any effort you're spending would come directly off your intellect pool.
Right. So to reduce it to a 9, that would take 3 points from intellect.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm cool. It went back after I spent that other action for recovery. I'm back at 20, so I'll go.
Okay, so it's down to 17. Go ahead and make your roll, Brent.
All right. Well, 9 or better. Oh, wait, was that a 6 or a 9?
It's a 6.
Nice try.
Well, I don't know. James grabbed the dice, so I thought, well, maybe.
Okay, so you're as with his, Brent, like, you know, in order for your hallucinations to really take effect on the minds of these things, you do need to make a bit of a connection with it, and it's so alien to your understanding that it's like trying to grab onto flowing water. You cannot do this. You have no idea how to bridge the connection between yourself and this thing, and you're even recoiling kind of mentally at the brief encounter you have with it. James, what's Kahita doing?
I'm activating my Ward of Purity.
Okay.
And what?
Purity ward.
Okay, so that's an action to initiate that. So your flames seem to flare even larger now. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, great. Okay, so then it is top of the round, which means it's Declan and Vendry. What do you guys want to do? You've recovered from that vision of hell. What
can I add? What kind of weaknesses? Can I perception this thing for a weakness? Is that possible? Do I have to have a certain power, or? Not
really. I mean, you can. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if you can think of something creative or collaborative that you want to try, you're welcome to do that. But this this thing seems there's no immediately apparent kind of Achilles heel in this thing.
Right.
Is it a religious entity? Can I, with my religious
No.
instincts?
Like I said, so when you try to cast that dispelling ward, you felt like it was you trying to enforce the will of your god on it, and this thing it just washed over it like it was nothing.
Does this thing have a face?
Sort of. It's a face of like tentacles and here, kind of like a almost like a lamprey face.
Okay, I'm shooting this thing in the face.
Give her shit.
I'm gonna spend whatever I can to get this roll down to a success.
Because of the size of this thing and the difficulty, it's about a 3 now. Difficulty 3. You could, in theory, spend 7 points of speed to make that an auto hit, but then you would be out of speed and you'd be down 2 pools that are at 0.
I want to do it.
Nice. Okay.
Is that the same as rolling a 20? If you spend it down, it should be.
If you spin it down to 0, no, it just means you're auto hit. So it means you blast this thing with 4 points of damage.
Okay.
So describe for us how does this look with you sort of bringing everything your full force to bear.
Yeah, this is basically, the camera kind of like pans in as Venry is just popping off shots right at its face, and he's like screaming at the top of his lungs.
And remember that Vendry looks like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Of course.
Yeah. So okay, great. So yeah, this thing it hits this thing in the face, and all of you sort of have a moment of realization of like, this thing is flesh. Its mind, its existence may be wrong, but it's flesh.
Video word made flesh.
What are you gonna do? Because you get to act before this thing does.
Was Vendry yelling out "Con" while he was?
Yes.
Why would he yell out his own name?
Well, let's see. Well, I mean, if it's flesh, then I guess maybe it can be killed if it can't be dispelled.
Okay.
I will. I think I'll use a concussive shot, because it's using my intellect,
Okay.
and knock it back, give the boys some room to operate.
Okay.
Yes.
And go ahead. So and remember, you can spend effort if you like to boost damage.
That's right. But how much?
Each point of effort you spend adds 3 to damage.
Okay.
That's always. So right now the difficulty to hit this thing is a 3, which would be reduced down to a 2 because of your guns.
Okay.
So you've got to roll 6 or higher to hit it. You could spend up to 3 levels of effort to add damage. Each level would add 3 points of damage, so it'd be 9 plus whatever your base damage is.
Nice, and that would be for using how much edge?
It would cost 7, which means it would be cost you with minus your edge would be 4.
Oh, let's do it. 12.
Okay.
Good.
So this, what do you call it? You sort of bring your gun up, and the runes flare even bigger than ever.
Right. Okay.
It's effectively like streaming back with like divine power and or arcane power, right? So it's not. Okay.
And
yeah, you're.
all right, you're gonna just smoke this mother. And kablam!
Whoa!
8 and 16, nice. All right.
16 or 18?
16, unfortunately, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 16. Oh, damn it.
Right.
Okay, so it flares and wham, this thing fires off.
Blam.
So 5 plus 9 is 14 damage.
Boom!
And it was a concussive shot,
That's
too.
Right.
So, having seen the opening that Vendry allowed, and having gone through physically birthed this thing, Declan steps forward in that way that only Clint Eastwood kind of can do. Raises the gun up, it flares with arcane power, and then explodes out. This thing is hit square in the face and actually knocked off its massive trunks of feet, and lands down, crushing 2 cars beneath it, and gouting or sort of gushing rivulets of ichor around that sizzle and burn on the ground. He's horribly injured this thing. On its turn, because it goes next, it kind of comes up, its chest a ruined mess. One of its tentacle arms is completely like flayed by the explosion, and it again whispers in your minds, this time as if like a mouthful of blood. No hope. And I need all of you to make will checks against, this time against a 4. Intellect checks.
Maybe it's not saying we have no hope. Maybe it's saying that it has no hope.
Yeah, I've got no hope. Hug me. Just hug me. So yeah.
Against a 16 then?
No, it's 4 times. It's against a 12 now. Yeah, because you guys have
already just by 1. Yeah.
All right, I rolled a 7.
All right.
Okay. So you rolled a 7. So Vendry, your muscles have failed you. Your body has failed you. You take another 5 points to your intellect. You're down to 8 intellect.
Oh my God.
Your mind is ravaged, and that horrible vision it lingers for even longer for a moment, and then you're sort of back. Oh.
So on my next turn, I can heal myself, right?
Yeah. You haven't made a recovery roll yet, right?
No, I made one.
Oh, did you? No, it would take you 10 minutes to make your next one.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. How do the rest of you guys do?
A natural 20.
Brent, I am going to give you. Go ahead and make a free recovery if you like.
Nice.
I will do that.
Okay.
I rolled 13.
Okay, so you succeeded. So it once again cannot pierce the fiery aegis around your mind and your soul. Pash, how'd you do?
Pash passed.
Yeah. So Pash has steeled himself and he's ready. So that is for that thing's action. It makes that attack and staggers to its bloody feet again. And what are you guys doing? You guys all have actions now. Pash, do you want to try and do your thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so to do terrifying presence against and actually affect this thing, it would take you what did I say? 9? Yeah, 3 levels of effort and 2, so it would be 9 intellect, which means your intellect pool will be down to a 5, and the difficulty. Oh fuck! Yeah, the difficulty to affect it is still a 15. Is there anything any of you guys can think of or do? You can assist someone in their thing. So Kahita and Matt, is there anything you can think of to try and help him bring that number down?
Pash is trying to make himself look terrifying?
You can see, like, while all this craziness is going on, Pash is sort of like, he's adjusted his hat, and he's just stalking towards this thing like it's nothing.
And he gets all feral looking. His eyes glow red. He becomes stronger. He's got claws.
Remember, Brett, this thing is not of this world. Like mundane things that might. Remember what I described before, like where this thing comes from. What do you think terrify that?
Visual appearance is not really going to do anything. It's your sort of mental fortitude and inner will.
Does the van have an AM radio?
He projects life as he walks. Grass and flowers grow at his feet.
Awesome. And on Cork, that's a great idea. As you start stalking towards him, Pash, on the busted radio, for no apparent reason that survived the explosion, when the man comes around, starts playing.
Nice.
So you can hear that, what do you call it, that Johnny Cash song, Spark Up. And as Brent describes, so I'll give you 1 asset for that, so the difficulty comes down to 12. Hita, can you think of anything that might bring that down more?
What?
Can you think of anything you might do that would bring that down more?
Just the visuals.
You can go beyond your list of powers. Remember that, like, if you can come up with a cool descriptor, you know what Kahita is about and what his faith is. Remember that at its core, a Shugenja is a priest, not a wizard.
Yeah.
And where you have truck with the spirits of the world and the natural spirits, this thing is completely wrong and has no place in this. Your mind works in a structured, ordered way. This thing does not belong in that order. Can you think of something that Kahita might do or say to sort of bolster Pash's upcoming intimidation of this thing? You guys can feel free to chirp in as well too for ideas.
I'll start praying to the commies and fortunes for him to give him strength and fortitude and bolster his will.
Okay, so you're praying to those kami that you know best, which are actually sort of around here anyway, the fires, and I like your idea too. As he's stepping towards him, you're making that prayer, and the kami are answering in that there are cars exploding in the parking lot. One goes up, another one goes up, a third goes up.
Highlander style.
As you're sort of stalking towards us, I'll give you another one from that. I'll throw it out to everyone here. Is there one other sort of idea? Or maybe Dave here. You haven't had a creative input here. Is there something else that Pash does or says to try and reduce that by one more?
Pash isn't quite sure how it happens, but it's not his voice. It's almost this this overarching booming voice that says thunderously, "We are not afraid."
Nice. Can I say it's all of your voices in chorus?
Yeah, and as Pash is doing this, he's still marching towards this thing.
Nice. So it's down by one. I will allow you to exhaust your intellect pool to make that an auto success.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So you sort of, like in a blinding sort of effort, you look up and you say that, "We are not afraid." And by the time you hit the last word, you realize that it is the voice of everyone. And that is what hits this thing. It falls back, and like some kind of impossible origami, this thing shudders and then suddenly kind of collapses in on itself, and there is a puff and silence, other than burning cars. So as you guys look around, so Pash, you fall to your knees, exhausted. All those of you who with supernatural powers, likewise, are sort of exhausted. You can hear the swirling victory calls of the fire kami, Kahita, that swirl invisibly to the others, but you can hear their triumphant calls. Victory is their call. Now, the one thing, though, that you do realize, because Kahita, you were the one who had the greatest sort of greatest connection to these things, is that this was but a fraction, a minute sliver of this thing's true power that managed to work its way through. The threat that you came to prevent still pushes at the skein of reality and remains a threat. So you guys have that meetup, or the post mission thing. Are you guys going to make your way there now?
Yeah.
In tatters, all right.
Who sent us on this mission to begin with?
Where's the after party?
So you guys were what do you call it? You guys are making your way. Where do you think would be this is a late night. It's probably somewhere maybe in Los Angeles. Where would you go to meet your contact, do you think? Like an old diner, or do you think
do they have a Perkins there?
Yeah, I love it.
Like somewhere we go for shawarma.
That's awesome.
That's perfect. So as you guys all pull up, and you're all in the shawarma place eating, and then you see your contact, the door opens and your contact walks in with the same kind of
Tentacle on a plate?
Disarming, so the kind of bemused at his own joke kind of smirk on his face. And for those who haven't seen him before, that is what he looks like.
Oh my god.
So he walks in and sits down and says, "So, things didn't go well, I take it."
Well, we weren't given all the correct information, for one thing.
No, your information was based on what we knew. But that was only the first plan. And for plan 2, I think that we're going to need some extra help. And sort of the scene cuts to a street in some kind of nightmarish, like Anton First kind of, Batman style. What do you call it? Street. There's people bustling along the street. Everyone seems angry, like the worst stereotypes of New York. It seems gritty and it's dirty. And there is a guy who stands about maybe 6'2", pretty big built, wears glasses, has a beard, short-shaved head, who's wearing a Metropolis U kind of Letterman's jacket on, and the jacket seems to be like just a little bit too small. It fits just like barely containing this guy's massive muscles. This guy's walking along with a backpack on and a bag of groceries in his hand. He's walking, walks up to his steps, and then he stops for a second, and because there's a guy standing there who looks incongruent with the rest of the city, and he steps forward and says, "Mr. Enns, we need to talk." And of course, it's the same guy who was your contact, who is asking him. And as the camera pans away, you see a paper kind of blows at their feet, and the camera reveals that the name on the paper is the Gotham Gazette. The scene cuts again, and what we see is a sunny street in what is probably what do you call it? An oceanside town or city, I should say. We know this because you can hear the the gulls off in sort of the distance, and there is what do you call it? The smell of ocean in the air. We see a mixed crowd sort of milling around on the street. We can tell it's a Friday. We see a lot of Asian folks as well too. This is a North American city. You can tell everyone's speaking English and whatnot. There's a lot of Asians walking on the street as well. We see a guy walking along who's on a cell phone, and the guy is bearded, and
Is that like the real world me or something?
And you, what do you call it? He says, "No, look, I told you I don't work late on Fridays. I'm happy to come in tomorrow, but I'm not going to work today." And yeah, that's right. I'll see you tomorrow at 10. And he hangs up the phone, and he continues walking up to a street light. And we see the one of the cross streets is Denman. And as he's waiting to cross the street and he's checking his phone, you hear from behind him, "Mr. Bastions." And you turn around, Corey, and you see this man.
Coulson again.
And he says, "Do you have a moment?" And then we sort of, that is where the session ends for tonight.
That's creepy, man.
So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. I'll have to amend the description of this one because we didn't actually play Star Wars tonight. But this is, for those listening at home, this is building towards a very special crossover session that I have written as a thank you to all of my players who have played in any of my long-standing campaigns. So this is building towards a finale that we will see sometime soon. For those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again. And actually, we'll see you tomorrow for continuation of our Shadow of the Demon Lord campaign. Otherwise, we will see you again in 2 weeks for more Star Wars. Thanks, and we'll see you then.